Hello? What's up?
Hey, Carl, what's up?
All right, folks, welcome to Group Chat episode number 36. We got a great show for you today. We have an Egan Wint interview. We talk product. We're going to break down X Games. We got trivia. We're going to answer all of your Instagram and Patreon questions. We got heater clips. It's going to be a very fun show. And we have a bunch of industry heavyweights, some juggernauts in studio today. So to my right, we got Mark Dangler. What's happening, Mark?
Hey, Chris. I'm excited to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
It's an honor. We got Silk D and we got Dixon over on production.
What up?
Howdy, howdy.
And we got Dave Downing over in Raymer's Corner. What's happening, Dave?
Hey, hi guys.
I heard you hit some steel today. Is that true?
It was bad, but I hit it. Just for you, Chris. Just for you and Seth. I had to do it. But it feels good to be back here in Utah. I'm stoked.
I love it. And we got Matt Patti in studio. What's happening, Matt?
Oh, man, lots has happened. Thanks for having me.
It's an honor. You know what I'm thinking, guys? I'm thinking we go around and we do name titles, like your professional title. I mean, we're going to see a lot of probably like executive.
Yeah, a couple of execs over here.
Global. We might hear the word global, you know? So just throw all the bells and whistles on this thing, Dangler. What do we got?
Okay. I'm Mark Dangler. I'm Global Marketing Director for Capital Snowboards.
Nice.
First global.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's the global's a cha-ching
Yeah.
is really what that means.
And you want Dixon to go next?
Yeah, Dixon doesn't even know what his title is.
Dixon May, local editor and filmer for Mammoth.
Silk. Regional. Regional content producer and creator, manager.
Executive
producer. Manager.
Thumbnail consultant.
Next.
Yeah. Dave, what's your title?
My name is Dave Downing, and my title's Dave Downing. That's about all I got. I've never had a title, so.
There's no global, no senior?
No, nothing. No.
Damn it.
No.
All right.
It's still a pretty G title.
Yeah. I'll take
It
it.
could be Dave Downing Global.
I like that.
Yeah.
Matt Patti, and my title is, there's no global, it's just general manager of Arbor Snowboarding.
Have you thought about adding a global on that?
I might after this, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Do we have to talk to somebody else to add that, or are you in charge of that?
Senior global.
Senior looks good on
Senior.
LinkedIn.
Yeah,
That
good.
one.
That's good.
Also, founder of Death Grip as well.
Yeah, that's right, actually. So with Death Grip, my role is more, we don't really have titles, exactly.
Nice.
We're not at the title place yet, but role is kind of business development, strategy and business development.
So it's C-level, though. It's a C.
Senior.
Chief Executive.
Yeah, we're all C-levels who still pack boxes.
It sounds like CEO.
Yeah, it's basically
Yeah.
CEO.
So more or less, yeah.
Chief Executive.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm Chief Dipshit here at the Bomb Hole. Let's get into Turbo Takes. Let me get the jingle going.
Nitro Turbo Takes, presented by Nitro Snowboards. Nitro Snowboards is built on a group of people who just like to go snowboarding, and they build rad shit for snowboarders, and we're here for the community. So if you like that, then you like Nitro. Nitro.
Do you guys know Canute?
Oh, yeah. I saw him today.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a global
He's global.
vice president. Global vice president.
Global
marketing at Nitro.
forehead.
Yeah, great guy.
He's a good guy. He's all right.
All right, Turbo Takes. This first question is for everybody. What's the best innovation snowboarding has ever had?
I'm going to revert. I'm throwing Downing in the hot seat.
Kind of an everybody, but
Yeah. But Downing's got the best answer.
Ever?
Okay.
yeah, ever, all time.
Bindings, probably.
Just the.
That makes sense.
Just like a binding, like a plastic binding with a high back. I'll say the high back.
The high back.
Jeff Grail, like high, just
Genius.
the high back.
High back. Dangler?
I'm going to go rogue on this one.
I like it.
I'm going to say the digital camera. You know, I figured Matt and Dave would kind of handle the product end, so I'm looking more at the, you know, visual end, the marketing end,
Yeah.
and I just think, you know, the amount of, I don't know, compelling images that people see that can drag them into snowboarding,
Yeah.
and then they can figure out how good the high backs
Yep.
are.
Yes.
It's a key starting point.
Yep. So the best piece of snowboard equipment is a camera. Got it. Matt Patti, what do you got?
Digital specifically.
Well, I think Dagler was right. We are going to cover the product side. Bindings was a great answer, but I'm going to actually say snowboard boots. I remember the day that I switched from soft Sorel style snowboard boots into Airwalk half pipes for the first time. And the sort of the warmth, the comfort, the support, and then the control of the snowboard. Like day to day, it was like I was doing two totally different activities. So from that point, I was always pretty interested, or just had a huge level of respect for boots. But then I got to Vans, and I started working on boots, and I realized like what a complex product it actually is. Just as an example, bill of materials, which is sort of like a list of everything that goes into the product. On boots, it's 3, 4, 5 times longer than it is on like the most complicated split board, or a lot of bindings for that matter. So, and then fit is so subjective. So it's such a complicated product. So I think not only is it, if not one of the most important innovations, it's probably still one of the ongoing most important innovations for the brands that are doing it right. Because I would argue that boots are your most important part of your equipment.
For sure.
Boards are the fun, sexy part.
For sure.
Bindings are the utility piece.
Yep.
I mean, your boots suck, your day sucks. You might as well go in and get a Mammoth Mocha.
Yeah, you're
And
for
for Dangler, it's the camera that's the most important.
Camera.
Just want to make sure we got that cleared.
Chris, it's camera.
You know, I'm going to jump on Dangler's team on this. He's on an island. He needs some help.
You're seconding camera?
Yeah, I'm second in camera. I'm just going to join Dangler. I'm going to talk. These guys are the guys that you want to hear from.
Just
anyway.
saying, man. Would you have had a career without a camera?
No, actually, that's a
There
good
you
point.
go.
That's a good point.
There you go.
Okay, bit of a hot take.
Also, stay tuned. We're doing product talk later. I think it's gonna go off.
Yeah, we're going to hear all about digital cameras later.
Fisheye lenses.
Yep. Okay, this one's for Matt. Who do you think is winning natural selection this year for men and women?
Yeah, well, I guess I already kind of put my money where my mouth is on the men's side, at least. I'm going for Jared. I think Travis is always a threat if he's in, and I did get to watch BMO ride that course in person last year in Revy, and that was pretty amazing. But I will say also, Jared was stepping to shit and dropping off shit that really nobody else was getting involved in. And, you know, it's not my contest, and I don't judge and all that stuff, but my opinion is with natural selection, whoever steps to and handles the biggest, baddest shit should more than qualify just a second day. So that's just my opinion. On the women's side, I think there's something to be said. I was actually at Baldface Lodge when Zoe came through last year or 4 years ago with her medal and then just destroyed that course. So I think there's something to be said about the momentum that could be picked up coming out of an Olympic year. But I think if I look across the years and sort of who's ridden the best on average every year, I'm going to go with Elena. I think it's Elena's turn.
Good take.
Yeah, those
Good
were
analysis. Good analysis.
Expert analysis. Okay, Dangler.
Yeah.
After going on a full trade show tour, how do you feel the snowboard industry is doing this winter?
Dude, you guys kind of started with some heavy questions here.
Yeah,
Matt,
Canute
it's like
likes
pick a
to do
winner
that.
here.
Yeah.
It's like best innovation in snowboard industry.
I sent you the questions beforehand. to
I
prep you.
know.
Yeah, did you not
we go.
study?
No, yeah. So I went to Shop's first try last week, came back, and now here we're at Interlude. So we had a demo up at Brighton today, show down in the city this evening. And how's the industry doing? I mean, every year there's kind of, there's a challenge, right? There's like a new economic challenge or something for brands to get through, or shipping and logistics is like the cost is through the roof. So there's always going to be something different. And that doesn't change. It's just, what is it this year? And I think, there's that stuff. And, I feel like retailers and brands, it's a little bit of a, we're in a post-COVID kind of contraction a little bit, but it's still good. And there's a lot of really cool products out there being at these shows. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of interesting things that people can buy into. New stuff the brands are bringing out. I think there's a lot of compelling things that the athletes are doing. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in natural selection. Just watching X Games and stuff the other week, and so there's a ton of excitement. So I think good. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think the one thing in snowboarding is the best piece of marketing and the best thing for business is the one, another one thing that we can't control, which is the weather. And I think as long as the weather, hits and provides and, we see snow fall and the average consumer can see that when they look out the window and up to the mountains or see it on their weather report, there's a lot of good stuff out there for them to take advantage of and go have fun.
Yep.
God, it feels like we're back to weather, right? it was like there was shitty weather for a while, and then there was supply chain situations, and then there was inventory situations, and then there was tariff shit, and now we're back to weather.
Well, the East Coast is good. I mean, it's snowing out there, and it's selling.
true.
Things
Yeah,
are
yeah,
selling out
Vermont.
there. And they had bad winters the last 4 or 5 years, and their sales were down. You know, and now it's up there because it's snowing, obviously.
I've been told, simply put, when it snows, you guys look like geniuses.
Exactly.
And when it doesn't, you look like you don't. It's tough. Yeah. All right, what else we got?
All right, next question. Downing. When was the last time you did a Downing nose press on the steel?
Oh wow! Well, it was today, but it was pretty soggy, Chris. I'm sorry, it was soggy. But today up at Brighton,
Was it of 2026 standards? Or
Mac
was it
Dog would have cut. Mac Dog would have cut it.
He would have cut it. Okay.
He would have cut it.
Wow.
It was bad. It was bad. But I'm not on the steel too much anymore.
The fact that you hit it, though, I respect.
I only did it because of you and Seth.
Thank you.
So
That's actually was going to be one of our trivia questions: is true or false? Downing turned his back on the steel, but we can't ask
Yeah,
that.
we all know the answer now.
once I passed, I don't know, 55, it kind of just went away. So
But you're back. So
He's back. He never left. All right, Chris, do you and Sarge have a bet for the Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl?
Not yet, but Sarge is going. He bought Super Bowl tickets, he told me. But there will be a bet. We will be gambling.
You're in the market to make a bet.
Yep, 100%.
All right. Next question. This is for everybody. What's your favorite type of hand plant?
Frontside invert. First, I was the first.
quick.
I thought of it first.
First to market.
First to market.
I like the tea bag, right? That's what it's called, you know.
Yeah.
And I think Reed Smith, Scott Blum, and
Yeah.
What about for you personally?
Miles Fallon. I love seeing him do those.
What about you personally?
Pass.
Me personally, anything Scott Blum does, that's my favorite hand plant. At that time, at that moment, that's my favorite.
I've never been a hand plant guy, but my wife is. So just a regular Andrak by my wife, Shannon Dunn Downing. It's probably my favorite.
Nice. Getting some points. All right. This question is for Matt. What do you currently see as the biggest threat to the snowboarding industry? And on the flip side, what is the biggest opportunity?
Yeah, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
And one that certainly is point of contention in a lot of conversations that I'm in. I think to preface it, kind of just to say, I'm not sure that there's exactly only one biggest threat. There's probably a handful that we could debate, but I'll give a personal opinion on that and say sort of just the rising cost and the barrier to entry. And not only just the barrier to entry with the rising cost of participation, but the cost of sustaining it. So, I mean, from a brand side and a product side, we've worked pretty hard over the last 10 years, despite even all the things that Dangler was talking about earlier, to maintain some level of pricing consistency. And I think, short of certain things, the tariffs and all the others that have sort of forced pricing up, it's not relative to the way that lift tickets and season passes have increased. It's just they've not increased at a similar rate. And so, it becomes very difficult to start and or sustain for certain people. I got a lot of friends that were like, man, I didn't buy a pass this year because it's fucking $1,200, and it just wasn't in the budget this year. So that's going to take them down to however many days they think they can afford or whatever it is. On the opposite side, you asked, I'll offer some potential solutions. I think it should be recognized and acknowledged that there are a lot of good programs through resorts where kids ride free, or 6 to 12 get a free pass if their parents buys a pass or a multi-day pass. But what about just a free lift? I mean, maybe that's a rogue idea, but just what if there's one free learner lift? I mean, Bachelor has a good program where it's $45 for accessing all learner lifts. I think that's a pretty good program, but price is not the only barrier to entry in this case. It's also gathering equipment, whether you're borrowing it from friends or you're having to rent it, and then going to the mountain and then getting on the lift and then getting off the lift and then looking down and being like, can I actually go down this thing? If we could just, it's not going to solve the long-term pricing problem, but in a more short-term situation, if we can eliminate just like a single friction point with just access to lifts, even if they're just the short learner lifts, that would be a good step for me.
Yeah.
Well articulated.
Yeah, very good. All right, Dangler. How important is having a good filmer for the success of a snowboard brand?
Super important, but I'd throw filmers and photographers, or really just creative people at the brand. But filmers, I mean, if you look around this, this room and you see a lot of these images on the wall, they're from iconic videos or projects that were related to brands, and I think really drove a lot of interest. And if you look at a lot of the most compelling like heat moments for brands, Forum, etc., Vans, it's always tied to a person that was leading those projects, whether it be a Mac Dog or Tanner Pendleton or any sort of
Mark Dangler.
Thanks, but so yeah, I think super important.
All right. This is for Dave. What's your favorite video part you ever filmed?
TB4.
We're all waiting for that one.
It's my favorite
It's
part of the
actually
Shannon
not.
show.
It's not. It's probably not. But I think that's funny. I think TB5 actually from Standard Films. It was the first year I went to Alaska. So to me, it was like emotional. It was like the first time I was there. I was riding with Johan a lot that year. That whole video part, I think, felt good to me. Like represented me fairly well, So I would say, yeah, TB5 was my favorite.
Solid. And for the reference, Shannon, your wife came on here and kind of roasted you for claiming TV4 driving by all the cliffs.
Well,
in
when I'm
Tahoe.
here, I'm referencing TV4 because that was filmed all here in
Yep.
Utah. But in Tahoe, I'm referencing other movies.
Yeah.
But I'm always pointing out like, yeah, Noah did that back in whenever, So I'm always pointing out stuff like that to my kids, and Shannon is pretty funny.
All right, next question. This is for everybody. Who was your biggest inspiration in your early days of snowboarding?
Dangler?
Sorry. First, I don't know the etiquette when you got to cough into the microphone here.
We don't have a cough button.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
just let it rip.
You get me? Biggest inspiration?
In the early days, in your early days.
Okay, so I'll just do two here. First one was the first snowboard magazine. I'm a little bit younger, but it was 2000, and that was a snowboarder magazine with a guest editor of Mark Frank Montoya. And so when I opened that magazine, it's like we were going to get into snowboarding. A friend passed it along to me. I opened that up, and I'm like, wow, what the heck is going on here? It was so sick. And then the second one was as I was in high school and we were getting into like making videos. I was the friend that had the video camera because realized that I was kind of sucking and, not getting as good at snowboarding as all my friends. And we went to the first Red Bull Heavy Metal in Niagara Falls, Canada. Actually, it was in Niagara Falls, New York.
The general won that one. Sorry.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seth Hewitt.
Yep. He absolutely won in one of those. But at the time, Nate Bozung was like, kind of the rising star, the new hot shit in snowboarding. And we, got to meet him, and he was so cool and like just really took the time with us. And I think that was one of those moments that kind of like that experience like really locked me into being like, I'm here with this camera. I'm absolutely in love with snowboarding right now, and seeing someone like him take the time and appreciate like us kids, I was like, this is giving me the fuel for the fire. So,
Hell yeah. Downing?
Craig Kelly, hands down. Like, just when I started snowboarding and just watching him first, watching that movie, Smooth Groove and a couple other movies, but just watching him and then meeting him when I was working for Burton as a rep back then. I met him and then I rode with him, and I was just like, whoa, like just watching him ride, how he rode his board and stuff. And then, he became a friend of mine, and spending time with him in the backcountry in yurts and stuff. He just was a huge inspiration for me, for sure. Like, he still is, and just the way he was professional about everything. He was super cool and fun and had a great time, but he was very professional and on it. So that made me kind of take snowboarding like almost as a job and serious, but in a fun way. I don't know if that makes sense, but he was a big inspiration for sure.
Killer. Matt?
My first sort of exposure to snowboard culture and community similarly was through magazines. And in those early years, the first year I started getting into snowboarding, flipping through magazines and seeing Sean Palmer with his bozo haircut and the American flag suit and the Cadillac tattoos. And I was like, I don't even exactly know what snowboarding is about yet, but I fuck with it. And then, very shortly thereafter, I got to see Jamie Lynn snowboard in a video, and he just busted one of those long leg, lock knee, layback, heel side turns, and I was like, but I want to do it like that. And so those two, it's kind of Sean really brought me in, and then watching Jamie do it. I mean, still getting to watch Jamie snowboard is inspirational. I still want to do it like he does.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. I come on here all the time to say it, but for me, Chado, when I was a kid, took me under his wing. Lane Knack was huge. My friends Scott Stevens and Granger and Beresford. And that's pretty much it, the people around me.
Nice.
All right, next question's for Dangler. What advice would you give to an up-and-coming rider who's looking to get sponsored?
Yeah, if you're an up-and-coming rider looking to get sponsored, I think the first step is, you just love going snowboarding, love, the act of it. And then I really think the first step, and you see it in a lot of these kids that come up through shops or our reps, you just got to be in a rapid, accumulation of talent and skill stage. It's just go ride as much as you can and go practice, get those reps in. You talk about that all the time on the show. And so I think that's really important because that's really the first stage of a snowboard, sponsorship trajectory. And then just, be a good person and be, easy to check in with, get along with. And if you live near a shop, know the guys at your shop, they'll vouch for you to the brands. And if you know the rep, get to know the rep. If you can connect with them and something up here at a demo, just offer to turn a couple screws and pretty soon, if you really have the talent and you're getting that rapid accumulation of skill and you're, open to connecting with those people, the ball starts rolling,
We're also going to put Dangler's direct phone number just below the screen, so if you're trying to get on Capital.
Yeah, it's just been rolling across
also,
the screen.
If you see Dangler on the hill, make sure you beam him after you land a trick.
Yeah.
Just stare
Lock
at him.
eyes.
Lock eyes.
Yeah.
That's kind of how to get sponsored.
Yeah, take notes, people.
Let him know that what you did was switch. Go up to him in the lift line and say, hey, I know you saw that. That was switch.
Yeah, that was switch. No big deal. All right, next question's for Downing. In your opinion, what makes a good all-mountain snowboard?
All mountain. I mean, that's kind of a funny term. I always kind of make fun of that term.
Why?
Well, yeah, why?
All mountain. I don't know. It's just
Yeah.
all mountain twin direction. There's all these weird terms. But if you're referring to a one snowboard that can kind of do it all, if you're that's what you're saying. I think for the normal person, it would be some type of a directional snowboard. Has a little bit longer nose and tail. That's just kind of a medium flex board. For me personally, I'm a lot different. What makes a good board for me is a lot different. I like kind of weird things. I like really soft snowboards between the feet and stiff in the tip and tail, really stiff, but super soft between the feet. I like a little bit of taper, 10 to 15 millimeters of taper. So for me, that's what I would have one board to do everything on. But for the average person, I think just a slightly directional snowboard is good, as opposed to a twin for most people.
What's that board you're referring to?
The Burton Custom, something like that. Capita has boards Arbor has that. Everybody has a pretty normal, a normal snowboard to me is something that has a little bit longer nose and tail. That's a kind of a consistent medium flex that you can ride anything in. You can go to Europe in it. You can ride Brighton. You can go to ride Powder. You can ride a half pipe, whatever.
You didn't mention rails though.
Oh, rails too.
Yeah,
but
just making sure.
Anything really works on rails.
That's true. Yeah. Yep.
All right, this is our last question. It's for everybody. Who has the best McTwist of all time?
Trevor Graves.
Trevor Graves or Trevor
Andrew?
Oh, sorry, Trevor
Andrew.
He's taking some good photos.
Trevor Graves event last night, so my head was a little on that.
Trevor Andrews?
Yeah.
Solid. The Trizza.
I like seeing Kazu.
I'll go with Terry Hawkinson for sure because I've seen it live and it's pretty crazy. So Terry.
Just because this name's not taken, I'll say Danny Davis.
Nice.
Damn.
All right, that's it.
That's it. That's Turbo Takes.
I like it.
Man, nothing hits after a long day lap in the park like a cold Pacifico. You're totally beat, gloves and socks are completely soaked, and the sun starts setting over the mountains. Then that first sip reminds you exactly why you rode all day. It's crisp, it's smooth, it is golden. It's as good as a post-ride beer gets. Crack one open while everyone's still hyped for playing the tricks and the slams. That is when Pacifico shines its best. Because it's not just about nailing the perfect run. It's about the whole ride. The hours on the hill, the laughs with friends, and enjoying every moment after you strap in. That is Pacifico. Find your own way. 21 plus. Discover responsibly. Pacifico Claret Beer. Imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, people, I'm here to talk to you about Kodiak cakes and their frozen waffles. I'm a big fan, and I'm going to tell you why. 1, they're fast. They're extremely efficient when you're trying to feed a screaming child or even a hangry adult like myself. 2, they're delicious. They got all kinds of flavors. I personally love the buttermilk and vanilla. 3, everybody's making New Year's resolutions. You want to stay on track with that resolution? Well, these babies are packed full of protein. We're talking 12 to 14 grams per serving. Great source of fiber, whole grains. You just heat it and eat it. Also, another thing we love about Kodiak is they are a proud supporter of the Bomb Hole and also a proud partner of the U.S. ski and snowboard team. So next time you're at the store, check out Kodiak Cake's frozen breakfast items. They're the ones with the bear on the box. All right, we're going to get into trivia.
Welcome to Run Through Wall Trivia.
Talk them through it?
Yeah. First of all, you guys need to locate your buzzers. They should be behind your head somewhere. I'm actually not 100% positive that I'm seeing yours.
Are we down
there it
a
is,
buzzer?
that red one. No, he's got it. He's got it. We tried to make it as uncomfortable as possible for you to get that one. Chris is going to be reading questions. You will be buzzing if you would like to answer the questions. First one to buzz gets to answer. If you're wrong, we highly encourage you to do a run through a wall smelling salt. You're not obligated to. We definitely have some. You can buzz before he's done reading the question if you're feeling confident, but he will stop reading when you buzz.
I want to let the records
I think that's
show.
it.
That's it, yeah. Let the records show Dangler's been claiming that he wins every time he listens.
Oh, yeah, I did.
When I
did
listen in
over
the car,
here.
but I'm not
car,
playing
yeah.
against anyone.
Well, you're playing against the people in the shop.
So this is big. Dangler's been kind of working himself up into a tizzy about this.
Can I ask you a question really quick?
Yes.
How much do you sell those Costco-sized tubs of Run Through a Wall for?
$100.
Yeah, hundo.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a great deal.
Any other questions?
Not for now.
All right, then we'll get trivia started.
I have one.
Yep.
Should we all start with one?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Get the brain sharp.
We'll just get warmed up.
You got to stay sharp between the ears, you know? That's what they say. You got one. Here you go. All right, I can't show you guys my. You just pinch it. Okay. Ready to rip. All right, you guys ready? Hands by the buzzers. First question. You keeping tally? Seth, you got, or Silk, you got eyes?
Yeah, we'll keep track.
Here we go. In regards to the snowboard company, what does the acronym M3 stand for?
That was Dangler.
Millennium 3.
That's correct. English on the board. Oh, thank God. All right, next question. This year at X Games, who won women's slope style?
I'm thinking it was Dangler.
It's Mia Brooks.
Were you?
Well, Dixon?
Probably.
You guys both said?
Okay, we're
I
both saying
answered it
Dangler.
so that you guys had to
Yeah.
then say.
All right, I need you guys to focus up. Dangler's running away with it right now. All right, next question. What state is Danny Cass from?
It's Dangler again.
New Jersey.
You got to be faster, guys, with the buzzers.
Isn't Danny actually born in Florida?
I didn't Google that. That was just from my brain, so I'll do assault.
Dixon is
Yep, we got
on it
our
right
data
now.
guy. Dixon's looking it up. That's
Local
why he's
AI.
here.
Dixon is
human
on
AI.
it.
What state
Yeah.
was he born in? What
He's-
state was Danny Cass born in? Type that in.
He's working on
I
it.
just assumed it was New
He's
Jersey. Claimed
processing.
it very hard.
Processing.
Born in Pompton Plains, New Jersey.
Okay. All right. So Dangler's running away with it, and you kind of got to do assault because. Oh, you need another one. Here, take it.
Do they typically burn your eyes a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, they should
If
be
they're not,
burning.
you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Next question. I think Dangler's not going to get this one. So here we go. What rider started snowboarding in 1977 using a modified water ski from a friend? Also, They are 4-time world halfpipe champion from 84 to 87. I'm looking at you, Dave.
84 to 87.
This is I geared this towards you. This is like a little older generation.
Wait, Craig Kelly?
That's incorrect.
No, who is it? 84 to 87. That was before I started snowboarding.
It is. Okay. All right. Nobody want to take a stab at it? I mean, there's no wrong.
Wait, what'd you say? Started snowboarding on a water ski?
What rider started snowboarding in 1977 using a modified water ski from a friend? They also were world halfpipe champion from 84 to 87. There's some disappointed people.
I'm at a loss.
Wow.
Terry Kidwell.
Oh.
Okay, next question. What province of Canada are the McMorris brothers from?
Saskatchewan.
That's correct.
He's on the board.
Dave's on the board.
He's on the board.
I like it. What pro snowboarder did a frontside 1080 double cork melon over Pyramid Gap in an Absinthe video? He also is one of the greatest of all time. May have started natural selection.
I'm going to say Travis.
That's correct. Yeah. Matt's on the board.
He's on the board.
He's on the board.
We got a game
I like
here.
those. I like how the clues trickle in.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Name a female ex-pro snowboarder who's appeared in Thrasher and is also a sports agent.
Cersei.
Yep,
That's correct.
Yep, that was Matt.
Cersei Wallace. All right.
Wow.
He's coming back. Are you nervous,
I-
Dangler?
Yeah,
You know?
he's right behind you. Also, I take bribes. If anybody wants to
a good
hook
point.
me up with
Yeah.
something.
Okay. What snowboard company did two brothers from Iceland create?
Lobster.
That's correct.
That's correct, yeah.
Who are the brothers?
Haldor and Icky.
That's correct. You don't get any points for that. I
Nope.
just wanted to make
It's
sure.
just
you know.
still one point.
That's
All right. Who has last part in the Vans film Landline?
Kuzik.
Yeah.
That's correct.
All right.
That was Matt. That was geared towards you. I'm glad you got that right.
I should have known that quicker, but yeah, it's all fair because Matt actually gets paid or was paid to know that. So.
Yep.
Was paid.
Was paid to know that.
All right, this one is geared towards Dave Downing, so focus up here. In a Fall Limes Films video, what two iconic snowboarders jumped the train in Tahoe?
Andy Hetzel and Temple Cummins.
That's correct.
Nice.
What's the score?
Yeah,
Give us
just
the
just
update.
so we're all clear here. Dangler's in the lead with 4 points. Matt Patti is in 3 points, and Dave Downing has 2 points.
All right, there's 2 questions left.
Wow.
Well, there's 3 if we need a tiebreaker.
So it's anyone's game,
Yep.
kind of.
Okay. What outerwear company did Mikey LeBlanc found?
Oh, Dangler.
Holden.
That's correct. Seems like it's kind of long
Yeah.
time.
Kind of long
Okay.
time.
Nate Bozung was founder of what headwear company?
Yeah, okay, Dangler.
Neff.
All right, Dangler won. All right, Dangler
All right.
won.
He
There's
swept,
another
he
one.
swept it.
Yeah.
He swept it.
He swept it. You know what?
Well
I'm proud
done.
of you, Dangler. I know this is a big deal.
Thanks.
You really wanted to win trivia.
I've always wanted a trophy for something. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, where are you putting that when you get home?
In his car.
Where am I putting it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it right on the mantle over the fireplace.
So, yeah, we also recommend bedside table, something to
Yeah,
wake
I'm just
up
gonna
to.
put it somewhere where my family really sees it.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
every day
it's
when
not
they
for
wake
you.
up.
It's for those around you.
Yeah.
I see.
Something my kids can be proud
We should
of.
get participation awards for the other people that don't get a trophy.
Yeah,
Talk to our trophy guy.
yeah. We'll
Get that
we'll
whipped
get
up.
that sorted. Yeah.
That's Dixon.
Me?
Dixon May, our resident trophy guy. All right, I think we'll let's break into X Games. Let's break it down. We got a bunch of clips. I got a bunch of notes. Did you guys watch any X Games?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I watched
Yep.
it. Watched it all.
Yeah, you're a marketing manager.
Almost
You're-
all of it.
You were out there scouting, making sure your talent was doing well.
Yeah.
we got an Arbor podium
was fun to
too. We got
watch.
Red got on top of the box. Lily Dewanaway too. She rode great.
Yeah,
She was going
She didn't make
big.
a podium on
Yeah.
this one, but she did. She did ride great.
All right, we're gonna jump in. Let's just start talking clips first. We got men's slope styles. The first one I have on my list. Dane Menzies was doing switchback lip. He didn't get a podium, but he was doing a switchback lip on the kink rail every run. Switchback lip to start off his run. To me, in this world of like contest acrobatics, to be able to do that every try on a kink, Dave.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Yeah, that's proper, and it's pretty cool to do that in the beginning of your run.
Yeah, it's a high risk maneuver. You're not doing a kiss the rail. You got to go through the whole thing. I just thought that clip was deserved a lot of respect.
And he's not like going super fast, which I like.
That was respect. Mark Mick got the win. It was his third and final run. He was clutch. I actually did not think he was going to be able to beat these savages. It was slow for speed. Everybody was having a hard time getting over. He does a hard way back two in the middle of his run, which I really liked. Really just laced this rail section. Comes in, switch back two on the gap rail, and then he cooked on the jumps. Like, people were knuckling all over the place. So he went cab 9, double tail, into jump 2.
This is insane.
This channel gap I thought was a cool jump as well. Back 14, and then he goes front 18, I believe, on the bottom jump. I'm not positive about that because it's a lot of rotations. But is that an 18?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I texted him actually after, and like, I was like, I was blown away because, you know, where he's at in his career, and he's riding with all these kids, and he's down. You know, he's like fell in his first 2 runs, and it's snowing out, and it's like flat light, and I'm like, dude, you dug deep, dude. Like, and you threw down. It's so impressive to me, and yeah, I just couldn't believe the athletic ability and the mental strength he had to do that.
Yeah, you gotta love those moments like that when
like
it's on the last run,
unbelievable.
not in good
He's done it.
conditions, and
it's unbelievable. Yeah,
He's got the clutch gene.
He did.
There's
Yeah.
a clutch gene. People have it. Red's got it.
Yeah, it's
you know,
unreal.
like there's only a few people that have it where it's like back against the wall, time to show up.
Really
There's
cool.
also an I've been there factor.
Yeah.
Like, I've been there, I've done that. I know what we got to do to win right now.
Yeah.
And I think Mark's really got that.
And he fucking grinds. You watch, he puts in more work than
crazy.
anyone.
Yeah.
And it pays off. All right. Another note I have before we talk about clips. So, did you guys watch snowmobiling?
I watched a little
There
bit of
was some
snowmobiling last
crazy
night.
bails.
Yeah.
Now, there's an interesting subject here. It's like they got rid of the rail jam, but they replaced it with snowboarding. What are our thoughts on that?
You mean snowmobiling?
Or snowmobiling, sorry.
Not good.
You don't like that?
No, I'd rather see rails or something. I don't know.
Matt?
Yeah, I don't like bailing snowboarding anything. I mean, I'm glad to see snowmo back in. I think it was
Me too.
the first time in 5 years.
Yeah.
Definitely a place for it, and I'm really stoked for those guys to get a chance to get back in. Especially, I think the last time they were running, they were in like 650s, and now they're up on 850s and 900s, and those things are just juiced up. So they're pretty fun to watch, but I mean, conceding snowboarding for it just you're not going to get a vote from me on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to see both.
Yep, same.
You know,
That's where
like
I'm
it's
at.
fun. It's you watch the snowmobiling, cool. But yeah, I would like to see the rail jam in there still, and I kind of wish that they had elevated it a little bit, to the course and everything. It's like you watch the half pipe, and it's like, dude, you got the lights go out in the green, coming down the half, and then the guys are getting ready to drop in, the girls are getting ready to drop in, and it's like, it just feels like a spectacle, and it just seems like it should, the rail jam, keep it. Should stay, but like elevate it.
I think they should send the snowmobilers down the big air jump.
Yeah.
Honestly, it wouldn't be hard they could hit that jump easily. They probably want to hit the jump. And then you could do them both at the same time. And that's a spectacle because you got a loud 2-stroke barking, and you got Mark Mick doing a 2160. I'm telling you, I love the snowmobiles because they're loud. I think for the atmosphere, really, people there, it's always been exciting.
Maybe you can do
those
the
things
bomb
scream.
hole cup this year. Maybe.
Yeah,
Let's
we'll
get
see
that
again.
going.
Yeah,
It's a little different kind of athlete too.
Yeah, different. Yeah,
Like, the skiers and the snowboarders, like they kind of look like we came from a little bit of the same build in some ways, and then you see the lineup for snowmobile, and it's like
every single pro snowmobiler works construction in the summer.
Yeah.
They're either own an excavation company or they're like a framer. But that is the career path for a pro snowmobiler.
it's a hardy bunch.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we'll keep it moving. Super pipe for men. Scotty James got the win, dominated, won on his first run. But I thought what stole the show was Kaishu's method.
Yeah.
He dropped in. He didn't even start from the top. He started on the deck, and then he just went ballistic. What do you guys think about
It's
that?
incredible.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's to be there and say, hey, I'm just gonna do this and put on a show. I thought that was cool.
100%. And then he also does this back 9 at the end. I don't know if we have a clip of it, but I thought the way he did his back 9, he kind of fell almost into like it's a back 12 rather. Sorry. He goes, I filmed this off the screen, but he almost goes into a back rodeo access on the last 5 of it. If you watch it, he goes, that's a back 12. I don't know, just the way he grabs Indy and kind of falls backwards. I just thought it looked really cool right there, Interesting access. Big fan of Kaishu.
Yeah.
Big fan of Scotty.
The
I think
thing about dropping in like that and in that air, it's like sometimes in contests, it's, people are going to remember the winner, but there's also times where it's like a moment like that.
Yeah.
It's a standout moment so strong that it's like most people, that's going to be their takeaway from X Games
For
2026.
sure. And it makes it not so serious, like he showed
Yeah.
up to do that, to put on a show, which was super cool. He didn't show up to win. He showed up to put on a show, which was cool.
Mons Roysland jumping the hip at Rockstar Open. After the contest was over, he just wanted to do it for the love of the game.
Did you like that, Dixon?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. It was. All right. Moving on. We're going to get into, I guess it's I got all the men's in one side. So we'll go into Big Air. Hiroto did a 2340, the Hirotator. The main thing is not that he did a 2340. That was great. He did that last year. But immediately after, he said, next year, I'm going to do 2520.
Yeah. I
Thoughts on this,
I
boys?
bet he will.
I was hoping you would bring this up. That was one of my favorite moments of X Games. I love a good post-game interview, and there's nothing better than getting him on the microphone.
Yeah.
And he says, next year, I will be back for the 25.
Yeah.
God, I wouldn't want to be the 2520 guy. That's a lot.
To claim 365 days in advance. 25 season starts now.
It's true.
Yeah, it's cool.
Does Charles Beckensdale know this? They're going to have to make the jump a bit bigger to accommodate everything.
He's going to have to learn how to spin a little faster. All right, Knuckle Huck. The podium went Rene, Haldor, Marcus Cleveland. Great to see these like juggernauts of the game on top, and the double sloth roll from Rene I thought was really something special. This is spectacular maneuver. Just insane where we're at in 2026.
Everything he does just looks so good.
All right, we're going to keep it moving. Slope style. Mia Brooks.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Got the win, and to me, I think this is a win for all of snowboarding. Dangler, this is your team rider. What did you think watching this?
When she dropped in, you can just tell. Like when she drops in, gets through that first rail, the first feature, and she just lands. It's like you can kind of tell when someone's got the fire in their eye. So you notice that, but then I don't know, man. Just the style.
She's
I think
so
that
gnarly,
Mia rides
dude.
with is so sick. But I would say like across the board with slopestyle and big air, the thing that I really love right now in X Games is just like it's so fun and exciting to see kind of like a big three on the women's side with Mia and Kokomo and Zoe, and
totally.
they've been battling for like the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
They all bring their own different approach, and
Yeah.
as like a spectator and a fan, it's just so exciting to see that play out.
I agree.
In each contest.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool what's going on.
Yeah. Shannon and I were watching it and we were talking about it, and like Mia's like my favorite snowboarder to watch, like seriously right now, male or female.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And it's truly incredible like what the women, those top 3 women that you're talking about, actually the whole women's slopestyle field, I think, is just so amazing. They're putting on such a show, and their trick selection, the way they ride, the way they handle themselves, their style on and off camera, like it's really inspiring. So I hope they just keep going.
Yeah.
And I think also it's really good for snowboarding. When you look at the women's podium for slope, you have Mia Brooks, Zoe, Kokomo, right? Just legends in the space.
Yep.
Zoe's going to ride in Alaska. She's doing front 10 doubles into powder.
Yeah.
Like she's she's a snowboarder, right? Same, you look at the men's slope style. Mark McMorris, Marcus Cleveland, Red Gerard. You know, they're freaking juggernauts in the space. They're hitting backcountry kickers. They care about snowboarding. And some of the people in the contest space, from what I see, it's like, I go to the airbag, I got my coach, I got an iPad, I got a freaking bunch of weird logos from corporate companies. Like they're just, the only thing they know is, and I don't think that's good for the sport because you don't like latch onto them. They're not the characters. They're not the juggernauts that we grew up watching, Sean White win these contests and then you go film a video part. Andreas Wigg, Danny Cass. Like, I think we want heroes in the space that are well-rounded.
Kevin
Jones.
that era.
Kevin Jones is the only guy I know of that filmed 2 part. He filmed a standard part, a whole part, and a Mac Dog part, and won the X Games in the same year. That's incredible. I don't know if anybody will ever do that again.
Well said, yeah. Yeah, even Torstein, Taldor too. They do both. A lot of people do both, but it's good to see those names. All right, so that like I said, Mia, Zoe, Kokomo for women's slope, hell of a showdown. And then for women's super pipe, Sarah Shimizu did a front 10 double cork that I thought was so fucking elite. Look at this thing. Just big dog. She's really young, Japanese rider. Been watching her for years, and when we call the contest, and
I think she's only 16, right, or 17 or something.
I would say it's
unreal.
Of high threat for Olympics
for sure.
Well.
For sure.
You know, really peaking at the right time, getting her first X Games win. And then the other notable was Q, Corel Castellet. Did a frontside 360 alley-oop to drop in, looking like Daniel Frank right here. Look at this. Boom.
Yeah, that's cool.
Front three alley-oop, first hit. Yeah. Like, how fucking sick is that?
Yeah, that's cool.
It's good to see halfpipe heading in that direction, and they got rewarded for it. Moving right along, women's big air. We got Kokomo Marassi, Zoe, and Mia Brooks on the podium again, the big three, as you mentioned. And we have, I think it was a back 16 that Kokomo did, I believe.
Yeah, that was incredible. The way she pulls the last 180 around, and then the stomp, dude, oh my God.
No skaps, no flail.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that is unreal.
And just in that moment with the sling in from the coaches and stuff, it's like that was really cool.
100%. And then Knucklehuck, another Capita rider, young talent on the rise, Jessica Perlmutter.
Yeah, Jess Perlmutter. It was cool to see her and in big air too, you know, because she's been on fire, you know, but this was her first one, you know, really like in front of the TV cameras, under the lights at big air and stuff. So I thought she rode really well at X Games. It was awesome seeing her. Did. And then taking the Knucklehuck, really cool for her.
I pulled one clip I thought was really interesting. Kokomo Marase did a backside 180, and she like scrapes her nose. I don't know if this is what she was trying, but it's like a cork in fully inverted back 180, and then scrapes her nose. I think she should claim it's intentional if it's not, but I thought it was one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen. I've never done a back 180 that upside down in my life.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Who knows? It might have been a cork back 3 attempt that just kind of stopped her, but whatever it was, I'm here for it. I liked it.
Doesn't matter if it was a mistake.
No.
Sometimes the best things happen by mistake, and then you'll see someone next year try that as, you know, it's going to be their things.
Well, you think about Dusty. He was doing the half cab scrape front flip and double front flip last year. So that podium was Jess Perlmutter, Kokomo, and Jasmine Baird, which was really cool. And great showing as well from Egan Wint, who we have an interview with later in the show. She killed it. Really fun to watch her. A couple other things about X Games before we move on. You know, like early when they did the rollout, they were talking all this stuff about AI judging, and it sounded really off-putting and things like that. But I thought X Games was awesome.
The AI thing, from what I saw, you know, it was pretty mellow, right?
Mellow.
It was just like,
totally
hey, we predict
yeah.
this will be like the podium, or like this is by reading the analytics, this is how high they went, or so. Yeah, I thought it was fine. It wasn't. I thought people were going to be offended by the use. It was mellow.
No, we ripped X Games to shreds, and on the new logo, I got used to the new logo. You know, I gotta say they did a great job. So fucking jokes on me for lighting them up. You know, honestly, straight up, it was a really fun thing to watch. Maybe not the user interface at Kick. I wish it was on YouTube. That would have been good. Kick.
It was hard to like find it and
Yeah.
know how to click on it and stuff. But
And
I'm old.
The other thing, you know, on the broadcast, you got to show more stuff. You know, women's slope style, that's got to go on the primetime broadcast. Even if it's a replay, the fact you got to watch it in the middle of the day on Roku, you know, that's one of the most exciting events. Get that shit on, you know, the primetime broadcast.
Yeah. Well said. Great event. Also, I saw they had big sponsors. I saw like Amazon and shit. Like, I think it's just good when brands are pumping money into snowboarding. And someone like Jess Perlmutter, who's 16 years old, gets to go to X Games and fucking win a bunch of money. And I don't know how much money they win, but
I don't know either.
It's just, I don't know. It's good. It's good to see big blockbuster snowboarding events. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I think we did it. That was X Games talk. All right. Let me tell you what I'm excited about, people. These Bubs Naturals Hydrate or Die hydration packs.
We are hammering these things at the office all day long. I'm drinking these on the daily, staying hydrated, whether I'm just at work or I'm out getting after it on my snowboard. And one thing people should know is that 75% of Americans are dehydrated. You're talking about losing strength, focus, endurance. You can have some brain fog. So let's hear the science. Your body needs electrolytes. We're talking sodium, potassium, magnesium to actually pull water into your cells. That's where Bubs Hydrate or Die comes in. It's based on oral rehydration solution science, a blend of sodium and glucose that pushes hydration directly into your bloodstream fast. We're talking 2 to 3 times faster than water alone. That's not hype, that's actual data. So whether you're flying, you're climbing, you're drinking, you're working, or you're just up at altitude, you're losing more than you think when it comes to water. Hydrate or Die brings it back. We're talking 2,000 milligrams of electrolytes per pack, cane sugar only, no sketchy sweeteners, and it's NSF certified for sport. It's clean, tested, and made in the USA. And let me tell you something, this new formulation tastes really, really good. So hydration's not optional. It's the cheat code to keep going. Hydrate smart, hydrate clean, hydrate or die. Head on over to bubsnaturals.com, grab a box. Your muscles, your brain, and your send will thank you. It's Bombhole approved. Let's do this. Okay, people, we just got some exciting news coming at you from Powder Mountain and the Bombhole. Powder Mountain is giving away an exclusive VIP snowboard day with the Bombhole crew, a Powder Mountain guide, and a winner and 3 friends to go ride DMI. Now, DMI is Powder Mountain's legendary side country bowl. It's got all the terrain you want: steeps, gladed trees, expert chutes. This is actually where the Natural Selection Tour Super Sessions is taking place this year. And it's the kind of terrain you see the pros go ballistic on. So trust me, you're not going to want to miss this. Head on over to powdermountain.com/DMI. And that's where you enter to win. We'll also have the link in our show notes for the podcast. The giveaway goes from January 21st to February 5th. We're announcing the winner February 6th. So again, sign up powdermountain.com/DMI. We'll see you there.
All right. We're going to keep it moving. I think since there's so much product knowledge in this booth, we're going to hit product talk early. Do we have a jingle for product talk?
I think so. Maybe.
I don't think we do.
I don't think we do. Any of you guys want to make a song for us right now on the spot?
Dixon's got
Here,
it.
Dixon, go ahead.
Product talk. It's time we talk about product.
There it is. Nice.
Nice.
Throw a little jingle behind that. That'd be high production.
We'll reuse that.
All right. All right. For all you guys, I think this is a good thing to get into. Start with you, Dave. What is one piece of product you are most excited about in the line this year from the brand you work for, which is Burton?
Oh, this year?
Yeah, sure.
Let me think about that.
Is it a step-on binding?
No, the bindings are out right now or have been out for a couple of years. Probably a new boot called the High Shot X that I like. So it's a boot.
Did you help develop it?
No, I didn't. It's just the one I like the most, probably. Just a regular High Shot X. That's what I'm excited about personally. But there's quite a few things like EST bindings, step-on EST bindings in a High Shot boot. I'm pretty excited about that.
Solid. Matt?
For me, it's kind of we have a bunch of new athlete-inspired product. I mean, right here, El Camino with Jared is one that I'm really excited about. Red's first pro model, that was a really big deal for us. Really excited about that. It was early release this year, only a couple hundred pieces. And then letting Brian Gucci come back in and rework his pro model after 10 years. And kind of falls into a lot of the category that you were talking about earlier, where that board became much softer between the feet and stiffer on the tip and tail. Lowered the deck height in the middle, added some carbon fiber and basalt strips in the tip and tail. And big difference for him overall is this last time he designed a pro model, he was like early 40s. This time he was early 50s. And so adjustment in riding, it was a little bit wider, a little bit more setback, and definitely a little bit softer between the feet.
Explain the softer between the feet thing for me, because
I mean, I'm talking about boards with have a little bit of camber in them, and when they're a little softer between the feet, you have more foot steer, so you're able to like
Torsional flex, is that what you mean?
Yeah, you can initiate the turn with your front foot by still having the back of the board almost flat, and then it kind of turns it. It's easier to turn. It's easier to for me. It's easier to like carve turns and turn properly at slower speeds, and I can also go fast with it too. So it's like I can, no matter what gear I'm in, like Craig Kelly and I always talked about that. It's like you want to be in the right gear when you're snowboarding and be in control of whatever gear you're in. And with that softer between the feet, you're able to do that, as opposed to just, hauling ass and you're in fifth gear and all of a sudden you just got to go sideways and just slow down. So you can actually slow down by turning with it when it's softer.
I think what's really appealing to people about that, especially at the consumer level, is that, the first thing you do, you pick up a board and you give it a flex. When it's nice and soft between the feet, it's not intimidating right away. So that's like step one. And then when you get on it, you're feeling that torsional flex that you're talking about. That's nice to kind of just have the control of both feet. Mm-hmm. But then by and we do that oftentimes by just like lowering the deck height and the milling. And then we put carbon fiber or basalt strips or something like that in the tip and the tail to stiffen that back up. So even though you have this sort of nice soft torsional midsection, when you go to lean into it, it leans back.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I also want to go back to something you said too, is like when everybody, myself included, grabs a snowboard, you immediately push the thing. You're like, oh yeah, this thing. You get like literally no information, right? Like, I don't know, Dave, maybe you can speak. Like you're like,
well, you can kind of feel
on
it.
Snow demo and you're just like, yeah, this thing seems great. Like you really don't ever know anything about a snowboard until you ride it.
True, totally true. Because I have hand flex boards. I thought that would be great, and then they weren't. You know? So that happens a lot. But you can kind of get a feel for it by hand flexing it. By holding the board like at the contact point and flexing it and kind of feeling different parts of the board. But it takes hand flexing boards a lot to feel that.
Yeah.
But
civilian like me, I'm not getting any data from that. Dangler, you got any takes on product stuff?
New stuff, yeah. So we, you guys have talked about it before on the show with Torstein, but we have it up at the demos and stuff, and so we've been working on this matriarch board with him for really the last like 2.5 years, and so it's really cool now to have it up here at demos, get it on people's feet. Retailers are trying it. I rode it all last week at Shop's First Try, and I was loving it. I really am looking forward to taking it into powder at some point, but that's been a really fun one. The response from it's good. It rides super well. I was really stoked on it, and then it's just fun working with Torstein through that process. Like usually it's like I guess in snowboarding in general, but definitely with us, it's like you keep the new stuff secret, right? And then it's like when it ships to the shop, then you roll out the marketing. But that was pretty cool to like go through like, hey, as we develop this, like just keep plugging it on your YouTube, and like
for years.
If you go on the bomb, yeah, sure, talk about it. Why not? And so it's almost like pre-marketing this pro model. So that's been a fun one for us.
It's only in a 57, I noticed. Are you guys going to do more sizes?
No, so what we did was we just put it out as a limited release first, like, because he had so many fans that were like blowing us up, like, when the hell is this Torstein board dropping? So we're like, okay, we'll do a limited release in November of the 158 only. So we made a limited batch of those. He came over to the mothership and signed them all before the top sheet was pressed on there, so it's locked in. And then we put those in the stores, but he has 5 sizes in the collection that, we're selling now that will be in shops in the fall.
Okay.
So, yeah, 3, a 155, a 158, 161, and then 2 wide sizes, 57 wide and a 60 wide.
That board looks sick.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Graphics.
So. But I love that stuff like you guys are doing with the riders. It's like developing up the new boards and working through the process with them. And it's like, on the product end, it's really cool. It's exciting to have something new, something to talk about. And then on the marketing end, it's like, it's just fun to have the story going along from the very beginning, So.
I think it's interesting too. Some riders, like you take Tor, he's like down to the millimeter about, he's really, going through all these different samples and tweaking it and getting it right. And then some riders, like you asked us about the big, nice burgundy snowboard, and it's like dealing with just a hollow-headed kid. I'm like, I like the indoor survivals, put the graphic on there. It'll be good.
Here's the sketch. Here's the sketch on the napkin.
Yeah, here's the sketch on the napkin.
Can you put some color in it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's different. I'm sure you deal with that with like every rider being different at Arbor too. Like,
yeah, it's really fun working with the athletes because everybody has a different need set, but also everybody articulates that need set different. So you do need a bit of a decoder ring sometimes to go through and figure out what it is. But when it's someone like Red, for example, you're gonna be working on a very high performance weapon. You're gonna need a lot of the board's gonna be super lightweight, but it's gonna have a lot of carbon fiber. It's gonna have really tight side cuts on it. So you got an idea to get started, but then you got to kind of work towards the place, and ultimately, we'll usually put out 2 or 3 different prototypes, an A, B, and C, and a couple of different flexes, and then we'll kind of narrow in from there, and then we'll do another round, and we'll narrow in from there, and hopefully by the time we get there, 2 or 3 rounds, we're pretty good. In Red's case, actually, the first prototype we popped out last year was the one that he won X Games on. So we were like, I think we're good on that one. Everybody's pretty signed off, pretty quick on that one.
That's always convenient.
Yeah.
I feel like also in that regard too, Burton's always been known for all the contest rider boards. They have the best boards in terms of I've heard of guys even this year that they're contest guys. They switched over to riding Burton because they just kept breaking their board sponsors' boards. And so for Red to be able to come off of Burton and be able to create something for him, coming off of what is a high standard of snowboard for contest riders, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, Burton makes amazing snowboards, amazing product all around. I mean, everybody knows that. But factories are good, engineers are good, everybody can make good stuff now. And so, getting the intel from Red and combining in that with, Garrett Gibb, our engineer, and our factory, putting all the things together, I think we came up with something really good for him.
Cool. I got a question from Dave. This is an Instagram question. And this is from @BurtonDenver. Dave, custom versus step-on. What are you more proud of from a developmental view?
Oh, for sure the custom, for sure. Just to see that, I wrote it today. It's funny, I wrote the remodel, or not, the re-release of the Burton Custom with the original graphics today and the original shape and stuff. And that board's still awesome. It's 30 years old. So to see that still around and selling really good, it's pretty cool. So the custom for sure. I mean, I didn't develop the step-on binding stuff. I just ride it and like it the way it rides. So I didn't have anything to do with the development of it. So
how many years for the custom?
30 years.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. I started riding it in 94, and then I think it came out in 96.
So did you were, I think you came on the show and talked about it. You were a part of the development process,
Yep.
the original custom.
Yep. It was myself and Joe Curtis, who rode for Burton at the time, and then JG and Paul Maravitz and a few other people at Burton, the engineers, really did the real hard work, the math basically. And that's kind of what you guys know. It's like snowboards are all math. And once you figure that math out really good, then it's going to be good. And the math hasn't really changed in that board in 30 years.
Is the re-release, is the new technology inside of it
It's just
updated?
it's the old the original graphics and the original round tip shape, and then it has the new core, Superfly 2 core, and has a channel and stuff. So it's a new technology in an older shape.
Cool. Well, talking about product, I think it's interesting when you look at you guys, everything's 3 years ahead, right? You guys are working 2, 3, however many years ahead you are, Dave.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So thinking about that, what's your forecast for product innovation? What direction are you guys heading with product innovation at each of your respective brands? Dangler, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more stuff, working with, with the riders and listening to them, and then kind of developing new stuff. I love that part of the process and being able to play my role in that part of the process. So whether it's, helping out Union on their end with Travis contributing to boots and the Felcor binding and being able to help them tell that story, or on the Capita end, looking forward more stuff like we've done with Arthur with the Aeronaut, and now again Torstein with the Matriarch. It's I think it's a really cool progression to go forward with.
The big nice burgundy.
I mean, that's probably going to be the second one. Send over another napkin design and probably get it done in a few days.
Yep. Dave?
Well, it's kind of at Burton, they make a lot of stuff, head to toe stuff. So there's a lot going on there as far as the stuff that's being developed. And the people I'm working with are kind of on no timeline, sort of. So I don't know when things are going to happen, but exciting things, I think making things easier and more comfortable is a big focus. We definitely focus, like you were saying, about team riders, going to the Olympics and stuff. So the performance stuff is there for sure, but making things more comfortable and easier to ride and having a better experience on the snow. So we do a lot of stuff like that too. So
earlier we were doing titles. Everybody said their job, and you said your name's Dave Downing. But for anybody that's not familiar, even for me, what is your role at Burton?
Right now I work with the product development teams in innovation, but I've worked in sales and marketing over the last, 15 years or something like that.
Years.
And then I was a professional snowboarder before that, and then I was a rep before that. So I have different things, different titles.
Cool. Matt, for innovation?
Yeah, for us at Arbor, kind of similar to what Dangler was saying. A lot of it is athlete driven. A lot of it is rider driven. So for us, we're getting into a new level of performance product stuff with Red and certainly stuff with Jared. We've made product that was sort of adjacent to that space before, but never exactly rider driven in the way that we're doing it now. So we're really notching that up quite a bit, but also putting quite a bit of focus on just general consumer availability product, things that are accessible price wise and performance wise, I would say. But at Death Grip, since we mentioned that earlier, we do have a bit of an innovative technology there. We have a zipper on the back of the glove, which lets you sort of open and get your hands out, which is a unique technology in snow. And so, just the sort of accessibility, and you watch people who try it for the first time, they have this sort of aha moment. They put it on and they look at it, they take it off, they look at it, they've never seen their hand in their life before. They're like, my kids, my coffee, my phone, like all my shit I can do with my hands now. It's pretty cool to watch. I've seen buyers do it. It's a really cool thing. So, it's a very low level innovation, I would say, but it's a very effective one.
Killer. I love that. We got a couple Instagram questions about products specifically to keep it moving. And Snora wants to know, Dave, is directional twin a real thing?
It's an oxymoron. I mean, directional twin. It's like two words in English language that's describing one thing. So, no, it's not really. I mean, you have to kind of quantify what you're talking about. If it's a twin tip snowboard and it maybe has a setback stance or something, then just say that's what it is, or like the Burton Custom, for instance, that's a directional snowboard with a twin flex. Like the flex of the snowboard is the same as tip and tail, but it's a directional snowboard. So to me, in my brain, there's no such thing as a directional twin, even though everybody in the industry says that. There's just no such thing as that.
I like it. It's true. No, it doesn't. It's an oxymoron. It's well said. I want to get into a topic here, and somebody teased this up. It's from Booty Bastion. How did those at Capita and other brands feel about 32 and all the new board companies entering the market? And I think, to provide context, if you think about it, I think there's Armada's entering the market and 32 snowboards. So there's more brands kind of flooding the block. I was talking to Joe Sexton, owner of Public, and he was saying that the slice of the pie maybe gets a little smaller because everybody's competing for shelf space and stuff like that. What are your guys' thoughts on that working for pre-existing brands?
Yeah, I think it's. I've been working at Capita for 11 years now in the office, and before that, doing being privy to how things work and on my video end of things. So it's I've seen different times where it's people have made a push, and so it's not shocking, I guess, to me. And I think for us, it's we stay focused on what we're doing. On the board end, we believe in what we're doing. On the binding end, we believe in what we're doing. On the union boot end, we believe in what we're doing. And I think we have a lot of exciting stuff coming up the pipeline, and we already have a really strong track record of product and relationships. And so it's people are going to come in, and people. That's how business works. People are going to try and make a push. People want to get a piece of it too. And I think for us, we just focus on what we do well and keep doing what we do, and we believe in it.
Well said. You guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it before. Kind of like you said, Mark. In the '90s, there was just hundreds. There's probably 500 snowboard brands or something. I don't know what it was. So there was a lot, and I think there's room for it. I mean. I think it's cool. I like to see it, different people making different boards and different graphics and different customers and different, I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, I think if you look back 10 years ago and you think about the brands that were in the space 10 years ago, there's a lot of them that aren't anymore. And so there is this sort of rotation that happens where some come in and some go out. It's just sort of natural. But, the two you mentioned specifically, 32, they've earned a place in the snowboard industry for a long time. They really have, and if you look at their product line this year, especially graphically, it couldn't be more on brand. It looks like 32. So I think they're doing a really authentic job bringing the next very reasonable category extension into the market. And then, you know, with Armada, it'd be depending on how they do it. You know, they have a great distribution network already, so there's a real opportunity. But if I was them, I'd be looking at what Hava and the Solomon guys did when they came in, because they made a huge impact right away. It's not talk about it, it's kind of be about it. So, yeah.
I think about it too from the rider perspective as well. Like, more teams means more spaces and more homes for pro riders. I feel like there's this like influx of like incredible talent. There's like too much talent and not enough seats at the table. So it's kind of nice, you know, even if they're not huge contracts or whatever, just more people finding a home at a brand. There's plenty of talent out there. So it's cool from a pro rider perspective, I think, always. I'm curious, we got our data guy here. Like, you guys were here, you guys can speak on this, because I don't really know any of the data. And I feel like there was like this heyday everybody talks about in the early 2000s where the sales were over 1 million boards a year, but it's dipped. Do you guys have any idea where we're at relative to the peak and what was the peak?
I don't have any data for sure. I know it's out there, but I mean, things were selling fast really well in the early 2000s, I would say, you know. Like, sell through in shops were very fast. And now a lot of people buy stuff online and in shops in all these different ways. So you kind of don't really know the numbers, sort of. But I mean, everywhere I go, snowboarding is doing great. Like, every place I go, as far as at a ski resort, it's pretty crowded and there's a lot of snowboarders, or maybe that's just the places I go. But yeah, it seems like it's doing good.
Yeah. Dixon, you got any data over there? Doesn't look like
all the data I've found in the past hour and a half has only been trending upwards, at least in terms from
what's it saying?
This heyday that you talk about. That sounded worse than I meant, and I'm sorry.
I like it.
Hold on. At least if we look at like
Dixon, what year were you born?
2000.
Yeah,
but I didn't start snowboarding until 2018. But if we look at like Vail's like total sales goes from 2012, they were like 1 billion, and now as of
those are ticket sales you're talking about.
You know, and it might be, but in 2024 they were like almost 3 billion. But I haven't found anything about
restaurant.
Yeah, that's a different. Yeah, we're looking.
This sounds like misinformation.
Yeah, that
but
sounds
including
like,
tickets, but it might be their total.
Yeah,
I didn't find anything about like specifically board sales.
What about
yet.
participation?
Participation also up. According to unofficialnetworks.com, which does sound very official, total participants in the millions as of 23 was 11.5, and then it started at 96, 97 was just over 8.5 million per year. So
cool.
Trending upwards, at least participants wise.
All right.
I've been getting like a different perspective of this last year, and I know it's very isolated and like localized, you know. But I've been trying to teach my daughter how to snowboard, and so we've been going up to Snoqualmie, and we go up to Summit West, which is only like, you know, this is just the only beginner area of the mountain. So it may be different a little bit at Summit Central, and it may be different at, you know, Hyack and certainly at Alpental. But holy smokes, man, it is busy there.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
It is packed, and it's just like, you know, and I know this may be unique to certain places like Seattle or, you know,
it's just
Tahoe.
People
being
learning
close
like
to
like
San Francisco.
like I go to Boreal at Woodward, and like the park's super fun there. I ride there, and then you look over here, and it's just all these people learning to snowboard. It's,
and
to me,
all,
it's super cool. Like,
they're all like in their first like few days or season of it, you know,
for sure.
You got a lift line on the magic carpet, and so I mean, I think the interest is there. It's certainly spread out between skiers and snowboarders, but there's so much, you know, people that want to get up there.
I agree. I agree
with
with beginners and new people to the sport. I see a lot of them. I see less and less like older people like my age, like ripping, that's been snowboarding for 30 years, doing it a lot. They like kind of gave up on it or something. So we're trying to like encourage them to come back and ride with their kids and just be a part of the, you know, snowboarding culture.
They might come back after they see that nose press.
Break him out of retirement.
Nobody's seeing that nose press.
Cool. Yeah, I love it. That's good stuff to know. you're doing good on the data, Dixon. You know what I was thinking? We could also do while Dixon's been talking. Can we pull up his backside 360? We were riding Woodward. Yeah, it was a couple days ago now.
Park City.
Woodward Park City, and I had the pleasure of filming Dixon do a little 2-piece.
Nice.
And kid's got a method on him. But Downing, maybe you could give him a couple pointers on this back 3 here.
Please.
So,
over there on the screen.
Yep, here it is.
A little.
What are you seeing?
He kind of jumped with his upper body.
Yeah.
It's a small jump, all right? I'm trying to keep my speed up.
The method wasn't bad.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Dave, what do you?
Yeah, he just
break this thing down for him.
He just jumped with his upper body instead of like jumping with his knees and his legs. You know, like kind of
true. A little late on.
Kind of opened up a little
Yeah.
bit too early, I would say.
Yeah.
But no, it's not bad. But the method's decent.
Yeah, I told him he needs to look under his armpit, not over his shoulder.
Yeah, a little maybe like go off like on your toe edge and kind of stay low, kind of pre-spin a little bit.
Look, it's a small jump. I told you.
he looks like he's
you
getting
had
ready
to
to go.
hold. You had to keep your speed for the second jump, or you weren't making it. That's why I was so flat. All right, give
needs
me
a
a
bigger
bigger
jump.
jump.
He needs a
I'll
bigger
dig
jump.
a trench in the damn takeoff. It'll look great. Not great. It'll look.
Dixon, you did
better.
good. Keep it up, buddy.
Thank you.
Keep it
Thank
up.
you. I try.
Keep it
I
up.
like it. Yeah. Dixon's Road to Back Rodeo 7. Where are we at with that, Dixon? Do you think that one's in the wheelhouse?
We haven't even started paving the road yet. It's very early days. I still got to cut the trees down to make it clear. And it's looking really rough. Okay, this is only year 7 for me. I'm very new to the game.
Yeah.
But I'm trying.
Oh, good stuff. All right, one more product thing before we move on, because there was a bunch of product questions. But this is from Baldface. Baldy is beautiful. JP. He says, for Downing,
Nice.
is he riding step-ons? Also, how does he feel about the Supermatic binding system?
I am riding step-ons, and Supermatic is another convenience binding with straps on it. I think it's cool. And then Phase makes a binding. You know, it's a convenience binding with straps. So all that's great. I think there's a big thing right now going on with bindings, as you guys know. Like it's a big category that's growing and changing quite a bit. But I think there's always going to be people that ride strap bindings. I think there's people that want convenience bindings with straps on them, and a lot of people that want a convenience binding that doesn't have any straps. You're just connected to the base plate and the heel cup like step-on. So there's choices out there, which is good.
100%.
You know, so that's
It's wild. And Union signed on with step-on, right? Is there a Union step-on?
Yeah, we're making
Yep.
step-on binding.
Yep.
And
Who
then,
would have thought in fucking
Yep.
1999 that was going to be a thing?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
this year, so we have one women's one coming up for, at this show. So it's one women's,
Yep.
and then now we got 2 men's models. So
I
an
just-
Atlas and an Atlas Pro.
You know what the problem is like I love making fun of step-ons, and the thing is I'll probably ride them and I'll probably like them, and then that will be taken from me. So I'm not going to ride them.
You can still make fun of things that you do.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, I can make fun of myself all
Okay.
the time.
He's been making fun of the nose press this whole episode.
But yeah.
Well, while we're making fun of them, I like to think about step-on bindings sometimes as like, what car would they be?
Yeah.
So just as an example, when I think about step-ons, I think a little bit like about a Cybertruck. Like it looks
Yeah.
futuristic.
A lot of
and
gadgets.
Space age
Yeah.
and like definitely works. It's a high performance. Like I've been on them. When I was at Vans, we got to test a lot of them. They work really good. But a lot of people just kind of embarrassed to be seen in them. So when I think about Supermatic, I kind of think about the Batmobile.
I used to be like that, and I think it's kind of funny, like people would be embarrassed. Like it's just kind of a funny topic, you know, like are straps cool? Like these things flapping around when you're walking through the parking lot? Like
Hell
is that
yeah,
a
they
cool
are.
thing? Does that make you cool, or does it make you cool, Chris? Do you feel good about yourself? Like,
Yeah, it makes me feel elite, better than everyone.
okay, but it's just kind of a funny like thing, you know. Like we're strapped to the board, like we're not skateboarders. We're not, or like strapped to the thing, or somehow we're connected
Oh,
to
totally.
it. So
I'm just doing a bit though.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like wasn't a.
no, I know it's
I
just
got my
funny.
respect for it.
No, it's funny though.
100%.
Yeah.
Is there any other comparisons? So,
Oh yeah, so Supermatic, I like to think about Batmobile because they're like big and bulky and they got lots of moving parts. And then when I think about Phase, it's like kind of like a Tesla SUV. It looks, for the most part, it looks like a pretty normal SUV, but then it displays some sort of like weird attention-seeking behaviors at weird times, like at the supermarket, trying to put your groceries in the car. It's all, you know. So I don't know.
what about Arbor bindings? What kind of car are they?
You know, pretty basic 2 straps. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna go with Tacomas.
But I mean, you got to think this is a culture of people that like make fun of someone for wearing a helmet. You know, like we're obviously going to make fun of somebody for the bindings they ride. That is like, if we're at the level of vanity of like not wanting to wear a helmet for vanity purposes because we want to look cool, we're definitely going to make fun of the bindings. You know?
And I'm just joking too. I got mad respect for those brands and the work and the engineering and the cost that they put into those things. So it's just a bit of fun.
You just like car comparisons.
Yeah, it's a great
Honestly,
analogy.
And personally, you like Tacomas a lot.
I do. Absolutely.
How long do you think, is there a timeline for when we won't have to bend over at all for snowboard bindings in the future? Or maybe you like bend over once to get strapped in, but then after
You
that,
don't got to bend over for step-ons.
you have to unlatch after every run, is what I'm
but
saying.
now when you get
It's
off,
half
yeah.
the bending over.
yeah.
But there's guys on the internet that got that mod system.
Yeah, you
where
can-
it comes right up.
That's a question for Dave Down. He's probably working on that
You can
right
get
now.
around that. Yeah, there'll be a day, yeah, for sure, that you can just. I mean, there's probably going to be a day where you don't even have to go snowboarding. You just sit on the couch and it's all virtual, and you're just like, it's all AI. You just like whatever. But I mean, there will be products I think that makes your snowboarding experience easier. I think yeah, that's
And you're working
I
on
think
them.
those systems are pretty easy. You know?
they're pretty easy.
to not
but
bend over.
A lot of
at
people
all.
complain about it though. It's like I mean, everybody's different, but
Yeah.
we're trying to make it easy.
Hypothetically, if you were working on a system like that, what would you do, Dave? Put him in a hard spot.
I mean, we're
Probably signed an NDA about this.
getting in and out like with step on it isn't even the best part about it. It's because you're attached to the heel cup of the binding, so it's a different power transmission. So we're trying to make things, the power that you put in through your binding into your board, easier and more consistent with your boot, if that makes sense. But getting in and out, I mean, we're not working on crazy stuff. No, it's not like magnets and weird stuff, but
I picture like a cable that you run up through your pants. That
people
connects.
do that. People do that.
Is that a thing?
No, people do
Yeah,
that
it's
with
on the
step on.
internet.
They do that. They have a cable and then you can just like, Dennis from Salty Peaks does it. He like has a little cable going up his pants.
Damn.
So like he doesn't want to bend over. So
You know what the original step on is? Hard boots. I just thought about that. I was wondering, do you ride
Damian
hard,
Sanders.
did you ride hard boots back in the day?
No, I didn't. But Damian Sanders did.
Dude, I want to try to front board a park.
Well,
King Creole
hold
in
on.
hard
I
boots.
did ride hard boots like on my race board. Like
Yeah.
I had a PJ7, like a asymmetrical alpine board or whatever, and I rode that at Big Bear a lot, like in the morning, and then I would go get my freestyle board and go hang out with like Brian Thien and Rob Defoe and those guys in the park at Bear.
Could you jib in hard boots? I've never-
No, definitely no jibbing.
Really?
Yeah, it was just about carving.
But is it possible? Like you could?
yeah, like
You think I could front board a King?
So
I think you could.
Dave Hatchett did a backside 270 onto a log rail Win hard boots. That's the
Damn,
first ever
back to
back to on a log.
Posy.
Yeah, I think so.
It's
on
gotta be
hard
Posy,
boots.
Posy.
It's in Totally Bored, the very first Totally Bored movie.
Sick. We're gonna have to pull that clip up.
So you got to pull that up, Dave Hatchett.
All right, great. I think we solved a lot of the world's problems with product. Any other product topics before we move on? It's a great segment.
If you're looking to improve your snowboarding, maybe dial in those fundies, heck, even just having a good time with the boys, Woodward Park City is going to be hands down your best bet to make all that happen and more this season, because Woodward Park City is a state-of-the-art action sports hub. It's only 20 minutes from Salt Lake City. I mean, that's just blink of an eye and you're on the chairlift. And in a world filled with overcrowded resorts, jam-packed parking lots, long drives to the chair, Woodward Park City is offering you a solution that not many other resorts are even able to fathom. And new this year, the Winter Mountain Park Season Pass. For only $499, you can ride all season at one of the Wasatch's best terrain parks. You can get the most fun and legitimately the best value out of your winter. You can maximize your time, easy in, easy out. It's right across from the freeway. Tiny walk and you're on the chairlift in seconds. If you want it all, you can get indoor access, outdoor access, special access to all the events, exclusive discounts. You're going to need the all access membership. You'll be treated like a king royalty over at Woodward Park City. And if you want some more information, head on over to woodwardparkcity.com. Hello? Oh, it's actually for you, the listeners. I'd like to introduce you to the everyday hydration solution. And of course, we're talking about Yeti's latest product, the Rambler Travel Straw Mug. Boy, is this thing pretty and practical. It's got a straw, quick flip, 100% leak proof when it's closed, okay? It's going to be great for sipping on the road again, in the gym, in the wild, or any possible scenarios in between. It's got great lid positioning, an incredible handle, good for righties and lefties. Now you're probably wondering, are there any key features I need to know about? Yes, absolutely. Like I said, 100% leak proof when the straw is closed, quick flip, so it's ready to drink at any moment. It's cup holder compatible. It's got an easy grip handle, very intuitive, okay? It's double wall vacuum insulated to keep your cold drinks cold, even on the hottest of days. It's rust and puncture resistant because guess what? Made with kitchen grade stainless steel. And last but not least, dishwasher safe. So if anybody out there is drinking any beverages this year, I highly recommend you get your hands on the Yeti Rambler Travel Straw Mug, which you can find over at yeti.com.
You ever see there's a documentary called Ultimate X that came out in like 03 or 04 that talks about like the early days of
No, I haven't seen everything that ever came out ever like you.
I haven't seen barely any snowboard movies compared to you. This is the one documentary I had on DVD growing up. I watched all the time.
Dixon has a rolling list in his phone of every movie that he's watched, and it's thousands long, and he rates all of them, and he watches all of them in 1.75, and a couple of them are pretty egregious. One of the, something about Mary, I told him to go home and watch because we were referencing it. He said it was mid. He didn't like something about Mary. What else? What are the other controversial ones that you don't like that we give you shit for?
Scarface.
He doesn't like Scarface.
I thought it was all right. I didn't think it was.
He said it's mid.
Big Lebowski.
He said Big Lebowski's mid.
Wow.
Not my genre of movie, Big Lebowski. There's a lot of movies that are like set in LA and stuff kind of just happens, and that's the whole movie. That's what Lebowski felt like to me, at least. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's kind of similar genre, not for me. Some great dead air. Let's see. What there was No Country for Old Men.
That's a great movie.
I thought it was all right.
Jesus.
What's your favorite movie?
That's a great question.
What's an elite level, not a mid? What's your top?
Baby Driver, 2017. Edgar Wright, I thought was really, really great. Or Fantastic Mr. Fox is up there also.
What about Avatar 3? We just both watched it.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I think got a check mark, but the bar is pretty low for a check mark. So for a movie to get a mid is...
You said fucking something about Mary's mid. I can't believe that.
It's a weird movie.
Great movie.
You
know why? Because your comedy
so
timing
weirdly.
is fucked up because you're playing at 1.75, so the joke cadences don't make sense. So then it's not funny because you're watching it fast.
It's the same... like ratio. Yeah, it's the same ratio. It's just sped up, the same rhythm. It's just faster.
Comedy's about timing.
And you get used to the new timing.
So you're telling me you watch like a comedy special on Netflix at 1.75?
Correct. And I laughed the whole way.
Really?
And it works fine.
That's insane.
That's weird.
You guys haven't... What do you think about that,
That's
Matt?
weird.
How did you even discover you like that?
There was a YouTuber who had a lot of videos. I hadn't watched them all. I went to watch them in college. I was like, fuck, this is going to take a lot of time. So I started at 1.25 just to try to save time, and then 1.5, and now 1.75 is where I'm at. I don't think I'll go up anymore, but
What do you do with the extra time?
just watch more YouTube videos.
mid-movies?
Yep. Yeah.
Downing.
What does the rating system look like?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is a check emoji for good. There's a blue M emoji if it's for mid, and then a red X if I don't like it. That's about it. It's real complex stuff.
That's weird.
Have you tallied how many movies? We got a tally?
I do not. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's a decent bit. It's not all of them. I started. It's probably 4 or 5 years old. The list.
You know what I realize it's like for you with the movies? It's like I got a to-do list, right? And it's so gratifying, like crossing that thing off. For you, it's like I just watched the movie, fucking punch it in my list, give it a mid. It's like exactly like crossing off something off your to-do list, and you did it in an efficient time. At 1.75 makes sense.
I try.
All right, this show really fucking derailed. Let's get it back on. Here we go. We're going to get into our Patreon questions, which I do have a jingle for, if I can find it. I don't know who did this jingle. Do you remember who did this jingle, Silk?
Oh, shit. Patreon questions?
I'll
Is
pull
it
it
Danny
up.
Davis?
Here we go.
It's time for
no, this
Patreon
is
questions.
Joey B.
I don't, forget it. Bah!
That's Joey B. How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
All right. Oh, yeah, you asked these still. Come out of rhythm. Kenny Sofra.
Oh, these ones. Yeah, I have these. Okay. We've been watching the snow industry navigate its way
Who's
through.
it from?
This is from Kenny Sroff.
Nice.
That's how I'm going to say that. We've been watching the snow industry navigate its way through multiple back-to-back rough seasons due to factors like lackluster weather and difficult economic situations, ultimately affecting consumers, retailers, and brands alike. Have you noticed any good, creative, positive business practices from certain brands that has allowed them to weather the storm better than others?
What did they call it in COVID when they didn't pay you? There was like a name for it. They furloughed? Furloughing. Furloughing seems to work pretty well. Have you guys tried that?
We'll keep it positive. We're just not going to pay you for the next 6 months. But you still have a job when we decide to pay you. That's a long question.
Yeah, it was a long question. Yeah. Any takers?
Challenging conditions. How are brands doing stuff?
Yeah. Have you noticed any good, creative, positive business practices from any brands that has allowed them to weather the storm better than others?
Furloughing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen several brands kind of reduce SKU count and just kind of get a little tighter with their offerings in general. A little streamlining of the marketing also. So just kind of looking at everybody's business independently. I haven't seen everybody do it, but I've seen a lot of the brands doing something similar where it's kind of like, okay, there's times where you can have this somewhat larger and more robust product line that has a lot of these different offerings. And there's times when you really got to kind of tighten it down and be a little bit more specific about what you're moving into the industry. At the same time, being really responsible about production buys. Overproduction has been a problem at different times. Certainly coming out of COVID, that was an issue, but I've seen people really right-size their buys again. And it feels like, generally speaking, the inventory surplus issue is past us, and I think everybody's glad that it is. And there's individual responsibility happening at brands to mitigate that from happening again.
Why does the surplus? How does the surplus happen? Where people just overbuy? What's the purpose of people doing that?
There's a lot of people get greedy after COVID when things really started to escalate. There was a lot of sales and a lot of interest during those COVID years, and then some people get greedy and some people buy in irresponsibly, and then you end up in a tricky situation.
Isn't there also pressure if you have a parent company to grow and hit a certain number, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, well, there is. I mean, I think a company that has stockholders, they want to see numbers, and you can sell in a lot of product, and look at all we sold in, but did it really sell through? Like, selling through is what the customers, they're putting their credit card down, buying that product. And that's what the real number that matters is what's selling through at the shops or whatever, as not opposed to selling into the shops. So there's a difference there.
Solid. Good answers, guys.
The whole mountain bike industry just crashed like at the start of last year for the exact reason, just because it blew up during COVID. And then now that we're post-COVID, things dropped pretty significantly, at least for mountain bikers. And several companies either went down or got bought up by other folks.
You want to hit that Mo question, Silk?
Yes. Where is it?
Shout out Mo from Woodward Park City or Woodward. He rules.
Absolutely.
Awesome, dude.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Much respect for all three of you and what you've done to help get snowboarding to where it is today. Curious if there was a person who helped you with your careers along the way and how you might help impart that wisdom to a future industry leader.
Yeah, I'll go first. I had a couple in my career. When I was my career path at Arbor started in the warehouse, actually. Did some years in the warehouse, did some years in customer service, logistics, product assistant, product manager, all that. I was at Arbor for about 11 years before I went to Vans for 7 years. And in that time, when I took over the product lead role, I started working directly with the suppliers and the manufacturers and started getting to go to Austria and work at the factory. And when I did that, I met Blue. And I was pretty green in that product space and still kind of learning a lot about the actual industry and not just kind of the customer service sides of it. And he I would really say he kind of took me under his wing sometimes. We started scheduling trips to be in Austria at the same time so that we could spend some time together. And I got a lot of mentorship from him in the early years. And so I really appreciated that. And then when I got to Vans, Doug Palladini was the president of Vans at the time, and he came from snowboarding. So it was a $4 billion company, but the president loved snowboarding. And so got a lot of sort of special attention from him in terms of guidance and mentorship and attention to detail of the stuff that we're working on. So, yeah, I would say Doug and Blue really kind of helped me out.
Cool. Dangler?
Yeah, I had a really early stage when I had like a level of interest was just at our local shop. We had a really cool crew. Some of the guys that I still stay in touch with to this day, but they, it was me and my friends were making like a local video and we're going to have a premiere and stuff like this. And just the guy who was the shop manager at that point, Josh Green, and the other guys that worked there, I think they just saw like the interest level and kind of took us under their wing. So that was really cool to help lock me in at an early stage. And that's really why, like when you ask the question about, kids that are looking to get sponsored or whatever, or if you're looking to get a job in the industry, that's a great place to start, for sure. Of course, like later on, Blue and Ephraim, who's our creative director, is incredible and always such a good sounding board. But the whole crew at Capita and Union and C3, and then earlier on, the Justin Myers and Joe Carlinos and stuff like that. People that I got to work with. Even if it wasn't like take you under the wing type of mentorship, it was just the learning by observation of how those guys that I looked up to did stuff, projects, and how they operated in the industry was really cool.
Well said. Dave?
Yeah, well, I started kind of same thing, working at a snowboard shop, a surf shop in California called ET Surf, and they've been around for a long time. I learned a lot working there at retail. And then after that, Eric and Janie were reps for Burton, and I worked for them. So I was a rep in Southern California for a couple of years for Burton. And then really the only other mentor I really fully have is Jake Carpenter. He just taught me so much. He never had a desk. We had tons of meetings, but it was always on a chairlift or going doing something fun, so I learned a lot about that. Like, it wasn't just about the business. It wasn't just business. He loved it. So he really taught me to like really love it, snowboarding. And I've kept that, I still love it. So I've learned a lot from him. He's made a lot of mistakes and I've made a lot of mistakes, and I think all companies make mistakes, but you got to learn from those mistakes and keep going. I learned that from him for sure.
Damn. That's really cool. That just brings something up with Dixon and me and Seth went up to Brighton, and this year's been crazy for the bomb hole. We've been doing tons of shows and locks open, and it's like every day of our schedule there's some type of recording or something, or we're going to an event, or we're going here or there. It has been a bad snow year, so we haven't actually gone snowboarding like as a crew yet, and it's especially since Seth became the general manager of the bomb hole, and we're up at Brighton, and he's showing Dixon around and me around it. And I've always said, if you see Seth at Brighton, you're in the right place if you don't go up there with him. Like, he is the ultimate Sherpa of the mountain. He knows it better than anyone on fucking planet Earth. And we're riding around with Seth at Brighton, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing in the office every day? Like, we need to be, like you said with Jake, it was like, this is like so healthy for us to all go snowboarding together. I feel like it like recharges all of our energy. We're so fucking pumped. And like, as you were saying that, Dixon, do you have anything to add to that?
You think we can get a space set apart for us in like the park crew room? Just kind of take that over as a satellite office?
Get a couple Zoom meetings in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We need it, but it's crazy. I feel like you're when you go snowboard, maybe you guys can attest to this working for snowboard brands, where it's like sometimes you forget to go snowboarding and how important it is.
I mean, I do stuff on my phone on the chairlift all day, every day. So like, I'm always like on my phone. Nobody knows where you're at. So like, I'm snowboarding a lot, and I have a little pocket computer that I can be checking in, doing stuff. And so
what about you, Matt?
Everybody that I've worked with over the last 10 years will tell you that I pretty much pack bags in December and unpack them in April.
Yep.
Still, like we did back in the day. I find windows to get home. spend time home and get on a motorcycle a little bit, get down in the sunshine. But I spend most of the winter out and riding in the market, and speaking with customers and riding with athletes and getting on marketing trips and testing prototypes. So I stay pretty active.
And you think it's important for the brand to be out in the field?
I think it's advantageous. I mean, I really do. I think being in not just part of snowboarding, but part of every part of your brand is important. Like every, especially in the role that I'm in, spending time with the sales team, spending time with the marketing team, spending time with the product teams, it really creates sort of a centralized cohesion for everything, and it brings everything together in the end.
Cool. Dangles?
Yeah, I think, obviously for your joy and satisfaction in life, it's like get out there and go ride as much as you can. And it's important in that aspect. And then, I think it's just like if you work for a brand here, it's like, you can get locked behind your keyboard, but you go to the mountain and you see how other people are enjoying that powder day too, or just whatever the day is up there. And it's like, that's motivational. That's motivating as well. It's like you're seeing how it affects other people. You're like, okay, yeah, there's reason I slam out all these emails back at the keyboard and stuff. And so it's good on that aspect too. You need to be in touch. Same thing. You go check out a snowboard shop every now and then. You're like, wow, there's a lot of people in here. They're excited about gear. If I go pop into Evo or whatever it is. So absolutely.
Yeah, the amount of emails I send between 4 and 7 p.m. through the months of December to April is very high.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Seth told me when he was at Volcom, he used to he'd do all his emails first thing in the morning, but then schedule them throughout the day so it looked like he was working. Say a little bit of a pro tip. It's pretty smart.
That is,
yeah. I didn't even know you could I don't even know how to do that. It's above my pay grade. But all right, another random question. This is from Liam Griffin. Does sponsoring Olympic athletes sell product? Thoughts? Matt Patti.
Well, we have 2 Olympic athletes this year with Red and Lily Dewanaway, which we're really excited, especially for Lily getting her first time in. We don't look at it necessarily as do they sell products. We didn't specifically, especially with Lily, signed to sell products. It's really kind of like a cultural culmination of a lot of different things. And so having the athletes on, first of all, for us, it helps legitimize and validate the program. It's contribution both to the team and the community. But we look at them more as inspirations for product driver. The product driver is sort of the one that creates the inspiration for the marketing, and then the marketing goes out, tell the storytelling, supports the sales. So, maybe in a roundabout way that happens, but that's not for us exactly specifically the reason that we're doing it.
Yeah, I think, do they sell products? I mean, for us, it's like, it's been a challenge. I don't think there's an immediate flip of the switch. Somebody sees someone win a gold medal and it's like, I'm going to go buy that board right now. But for us, it's always been a challenge to have the right people. It's like we want to participate in that competitive space, but really we want people that we can work with long term. And we don't ever want to get into a situation where it's like we're hiring people for the Olympics and then firing them after that cycle, And so we're in it for that reason where it's like we want to develop these things. So when I see Jess Perlmutter at the X Games at the age of 16, I'm like, this is awesome because this is something that long term, this is a builder for her, right? This is one step up. And then same thing with Mia. And it's like, that's really great for her. But, we really want to work with people, whether it's win or lose at that Olympics. It's like, we believe in Mia Brooks' approach and her style so much that it doesn't matter.
It seems like you guys would sponsor those people whether or not they were going to the Olympics, right?
Right.
If I look at the names on the team for both Arbor and Capita and whatnot.
Yeah.
Burton's got 7 million people. Actually, they don't have that big of a team anymore.
They do, but I mean, just when you're talking Jake was super competitive, and I always talk to him. He would get pissed if nobody was on the podium. He cares about it, but from a cool part in his heart, I think, so Burton's always invested in athletes that do that type of snowboarding, which is high level caliber snowboarding. So I think it matters. It gives your brand recognition, like you're saying. It doesn't necessarily, I think, sell product like you're saying, Mark, but it definitely gives you brand recognition. I remember talking to Jake in what was it, 2002 or something. some of the boards didn't say Burton on the bottom, and he's just like, dude, if I'm gonna have somebody on the podium, I want my middle name on the board, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that totally makes sense, so that's why a lot of the boards have the
Olympic year,
the name on the bottom.
That seems like there's a different graphic from Burton for the Olympic.
Well, there
year.
is this year, and it's specific because of that. It's like, we want the name on the bottom. If it's
I noticed last one though, Zoe was riding a different. I can't remember what model it was, but a different one at the last Olympics.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a point of intrigue. Like, I wonder what board that is.
Yeah. So,
I'll just add to that for us. Like with Arbor, we haven't really participated in that space much before, and so as we looked at rebuilding our rider roster. One of the things we wanted to do was sort of be a more well-balanced diet. And so from the brand for a long time, you saw a lot of powder turns. And it was like, man, we need airtime. Like we need more airtime in everything that we're doing. And so that was really the inspiration to bring on Red and to bring on Jared and Lily and athletes like that. So, for us, creating a well-balanced ecosystem within the brand, whether it's with the riders or the product line or the marketing or whatever it is, that is sort of the big picture long-term objective. And so we needed to make a bit of a harder push to rebalance all those things. And so, we had no expectations certainly for Lily to get to the Olympics already, and we're super excited for her. But again, not the reasons we did it. For us, just building a more well-balanced program was really important.
Cool. We got another question along the Olympic run. Why don't you hit that Frank Huang question?
Yeah, thanks for your question, Frank Wang. With this being an Olympic year and so much media attention being given to select athletes, what are your feelings on the standardization of snowboarding? At times, does it feel more like club soccer for your kids than the old punk rock ride or die days?
I mean, I think that's just like focusing on the one, particular group of set of people that participate in contests, but I don't think I could apply that across snowboarding, even though it is an Olympic year.
And even somebody like Mia Brooks,
straight up
in the Olympics, pretty punk rock.
I think it's serious. Like, I can just say, like, when Shannon went to the Olympics in '98 in Japan, it wasn't even like a thing, like nobody cared. It was on at 2 a.m. and it was raining out and nobody cared. Now it's really serious, and it is serious. But like Mia Brooks can make it look rad, even though she's serious, so I think you can do both. It doesn't have to be some jock sport that's just all regimented and, coaches, and I think it can go both ways, and like a person like me is doing it.
Yeah. I mean, even the Kaishu clip that we watched from, X Games, it's like, he's not going to be a different person when he goes to the Olympics. He might have to wear the, whatever the Team Japan outerwear is, but his approach is going to be the same. So it's like the people that do it right, do it well, they're exciting to watch here. Like, it's a different venue, but.
Yeah, thank God we got Dusty and we got Mia and we got Kaishu and even Ayumu, and they just embody the essence of snowboarding, and they're still at the top of the game, and it's good for all of us. It's good. We want to look at it and we want to be like, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, hopefully the riders will do it, like the riders will hopefully dictate what happens in competitive snowboarding in all of our space and our industry and everything. If the snowboarders are in control of it, where it's going to be in a good place.
100%. We interviewed Scotty James the other day. I thought he said something really interesting where we were talking about where snowboarding's going, high rotations, pretty common subject. But he basically just said the judges dictate where competitive snowboarding goes. The judges do. Because whatever they reward, people will learn. Like kids can do whatever they want. So if the 25-20, whatever it is, 25-20 is the highest scoring thing, then everybody's going to follow suit. And so I do love to see, I think, competitive snowboarding, people are getting rewarded for the backside rodeo maneuvers and the frontside rodeos and the cool rail tricks. And they are starting to, like, the spin to win on the rails isn't getting rewarded as high. So hats off to the judges for heading snowboarding in the right direction. I think they're fighting an impossible fight. It's an impossible task. But I just thought it was an interesting take on competitive snowboarding.
If you guys have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I agree. I saw some stuff on the X Games. I forget who it was doing like kind of off-axis weird spins and stuff, like taking it to a different level.
Yeah.
You know, even though they're spinning through the air, they're doing it different.
Yeah.
So, like I said, like the riders are going to have to be creative and do something. You know, I do think that courses can be a little more creative as the sport grows. You know, and hopefully they'll want that creative landscape to be able to do different types of tricks and stuff like that. So instead of just fast down bars and stuff, like almost make you like almost stop and then kind of hit a rail section and then go fast or different speeds and things like that could be pretty cool.
Non-linear. That'd be cool. All right, we got another question. This is from Mac Melkowski. Mark, could you dive into your first job / role at Capita and how it's progressed to now? Come a long way, Mark.
Yeah, well, my first job.
Back it up before, actually, even back it up before, just maybe the film, walk through the film time.
Yeah, my first job at with Capita was when I was living here in Salt Lake, but I got hired to they were making a team movie.
Yeah. Before that, High Cascade videos.
Yeah, Defenders of Awesome. So how I got into that was I had known and met a bunch of the team riders through High Cascade. And I feel like it's been said a lot by, people on the show, but that was like the avenue for me to get in. At that point, I was like, I want to film and make snowboard videos. And I went out to High Cascade one summer before I had a job. I had a friend that worked there. And I hung out with him, and I met, he said hi to me, but I don't even think he would remember this as like our meeting. But Justin Meyer at that point was doing the session videos. And I was like, wow, this guy, he does the Bear Mountain Sunday in the Park. And then Joe Carlino had done it before him. And so I just went home. I was like, I got to get the hell out of Rochester, New York, and get out to Mount Hood next summer because I'll still be a Bills fan. But if I wanted to do this, like I gotta try and be in the place where those guys are. So, anyways, had spent the time at High Cascade, and then the first role with Capita was working on Defenders of Awesome, and then took a couple years away from it. There was a couple years where they didn't make a team video, came back for Defenders of Awesome 2, and about halfway going into the Office years, about halfway through, or in the beginning of that year, filming actually, Sean Tidor was in there. He was doing a lot of product stuff, which I couldn't do, but he was doing US marketing too. And so he had left, he went to go work at Ride, and so while I was filming the video, I talked to Blue and was just like, hey, like, I just want to put this out there. Like, I'm interested in doing something different next year. I know the team really well, have an incredible relationship with them. I know, all the photographers, type myself up, know all the photographers, know all the magazines, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of that video, he was like, hey, why don't you move up here and you can start in this marketing, at the time it was like a marketing coordinator and kind of just create whatever content we need type role. So
was it a global marketing coordinator?
It was very much regional, as in regionalized to most of the time I was packing boxes in the warehouse, but I wanted to do it. So
yeah, and that's one
I
thing.
I was interested in the transitions.
As marketing, as your big title now, but like also like diehard snowboard filmmaker. I think that's important. You think about it, like High Cascade recaps, a lot of Future Islands. This guy was big on some future. We had a Future Islands kick for a little while, but then you went, you hit Videograss. We spent some time in the field.
Yep.
Nike, Never Not.
Yeah.
All the Capita films, DOA, DOA2. What else am I forgetting?
And then I fell off.
Then you did. Then you put the camera away.
Yeah, I know.
And you started doing spreadsheets.
I mean, those were like those were the main projects that I worked on. So, yeah.
Yeah, we spent some time in the field.
Absolutely.
Finland. I don't even remember where else we went, but good times. He's pretty nice. He's nice with the fisheye. And while we did it, Matt, I think you should. I know you went through it, but with Vans, I feel like you were a part of that big revamp when you guys. It was like a full, like you brought on Tanner and the whole team, and you made Landline. That was your era, right?
Yeah, that was.
Can you walk me through that?
Yeah, so I went to Vans in 2016. If you remember, in 2014, it was the year the brand wasn't able to deliver to market. So it was a pretty hard reset. In the time between that and when I arrived, Kevin Casillo came on, and so there was a rebuilding on the marketing side first, and then the organization was ready to really start focusing on product. I was really flattered to get a call. I took the job pretty immediately, and came in right away within the first couple weeks and pitched a whole different direction on product. Executive team signed off on it, and we kind of went to work. And so the combination of what was happening on the marketing side with what was happening on the product side created a bit of a magic moment. At the time, it was a very challenged time for the brand because we were kind of coming out of zero, rebuilding everything at factories. And so we were going from a very small, I don't want to say irrelevant, but man, it was a tough time for that brand. And so the combination of the visions between the marketing team and the product team that I was on were very symbiotic. The vision and the goal for it was I don't know. It was a big vision and probably didn't even seem super realistic at the time. It was very ambitious, I guess would be the way to say it. But we built a plan. We stuck to the plan, and the two things worked together very well. And the athletes really bought into what we were doing. And yeah, I mean, the things that happened on the marketing side were amazing. The landlines and the evergreens and all the stuff that was going there. And on the product side, we're really proud of what we did there too. I would say we went from one of the smaller U.S. brands. I mean, if you follow sort of NPD data, which is at register collected data in the U.S., was not even on the list to, in most shops, number 1 or 2 with Burton, depending on how you counted step-on, And so that jump over only 6 or 7 year period is something that we were all very proud of, and something that I'll kind of keep with me forever.
And then how did you ultimately end back up where you started at Arbor?
Yeah, things changed a little at Vans. And it felt like it was time for me to move on. And I'd sort of mentally committed to doing that. There was some rounds of layoffs and some things, and a lot of the people that were around me from a leadership standpoint were gone. And it was time for a change. And so I had mentally committed to making this change, and I had actually I had been working on the MTE product line, all the outdoor footwear stuff. And we did a really great job with that. The team did a really great job with that line also. And I kind of wasn't sure what my next move was going to be. And I had an opportunity to go to another brand that was going to build something like that in footwear. And I was pretty ready to sign up. I was on a chairlift at Mount Bachelor, and I got a call from Bob Carlson, who's the owner of Arbor. And he said, the organization's let the GM go, and would you be open to me putting your name in the hat for that? And I said, I'm kind of pretty mentally committed to this other thing. I haven't signed any papers yet, but, I was there for 10 or 11 years. I owe it to both of us to have a conversation. And when I got in that conversation, what I realized was the organization was ready to make some investments. They were in a place with the brand where they wanted to see some change. They wanted a different view and a different vision. And, we had just sort of done a lot of this work at Vans already. And so I accepted the role, and I brought some of the guys over with me. Garrett Gibb, who was our engineer, Dan Rhodes is our design lead. And we sort of took our product team out and plugged it back in over here. And that really helped started getting it all going. So, for me, the thing that I really like doing, and we did it at Vans, we're kind of doing it at Arbor, certainly doing it at Death Grip, is working with a brand who's maybe not reaching its full potential and trying to help strive to be an overachiever. And building the strategy and the plan in there, that's the shit I really like doing. Like, the strategy work is the thing that I really enjoy.
Hell yeah. And you look at it over like 5 years. You don't look at it over 1 year, right?
You have to. It's impossible, especially for us. We're a single season, short window, weather dependent business. It's 3 strikes. One of those things hits and your whole plan slows down. So if you don't have a 3 to 5 year mentality, like right out of the gate, you're going to miss.
Yeah. I think that's such an interesting thing too, because even just anything in life, if you're like, you overestimate what you can do in 1 year and you underestimate what you can do in 5. And it's like that slow grind over time really is what builds brands.
Yeah, I would say we put a really good 3 to 4 year plan in Vans, and then from there it took off. Like after 3 years, it became borderline uncontrollable. Like we had the factories telling us we had to limit our order capacities and all kind of stuff like that. So we saw it happen there, and I would say with Arbor, I'm going close to my 3rd year back here now. And the plan was about a 3 to 4 year plan, and we are really on the mark with where we said we were going to be. Even the line plan we're delivering this fall, sat down the first day and we said, okay, if we could turn this line into anything we wanted, what would it look like? We drew the whole thing out, and if you look at our line plan now, it's about 95% of what we said we were going to do. The only nuance adjustment in there is what the market told us was going to be different. So feel really good about it. And the marketing team on our side is really firing too. We got Hava in there. We got Eddie Wall, Pat Moore.
Crew.
It's a fire marketing team, and it's a really fun organization to be working in right now. Bringing the boys over from Vans, having all those guys there. We have a great sales team too. It's a really exciting time, and just a fun group of people to work with.
Hell yeah! Thanks for giving us a glimpse, kind of behind the curtain. Right, we see the boards on the wall at the shop, and you see Big Air, Jer, and Red, and do their thing. But that's what's cool about having you guys in the studio. You don't like all the things you're talking about. Nobody ever hears about that as a general fan of snowboarding. I think it's super interesting. What do you think, Dixon?
Yeah, I think it's sick. I love it. I love to hear about the paperwork, even though I doubt I won't ever be involved in it. It's cool to hear.
Cool. All right, I think that's it for Patreon questions. We still got a million Instagram questions.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling.
We're gonna catch up. We got to chat with Egan Wint, an absolute freaking legend who just put on a show at X Games. Let's see what she has to say.
Okay, people. We're going to talk about what is one of my favorite products that I use on a daily basis, and that is the Turtlebox Ranger speaker. This thing I keep in my house. I listen to music on it every day. Here's what I like about it. It's got 12 hours of battery life. It's smaller than the other Turtlebox speaker, so you can bring it with you. It's got magnets on it. You're going golfing? Bing! Put it on the side of the golf cart. You got tunes all day long. It's also waterproof. So you can take this thing up on hill on a snowy day, blast some tunes in the parking lot, bring it out on the boat if you got one of those things. It's also drop, crush, and dust proof. It's got stainless steel attachment points, and it's perfect size to bring anywhere you want to go. So if you want to check out the Turtlebox Ranger, it's a great gift for the holidays, great gift for any loved one. Check it out at turtleboxaudio.com.
All right, Shredders, listen up. With over 30 years in snowboarding, Vans continues to deliver top-shelf snowboard boots for not only their diverse roster of athletes, but everyday riders worldwide. There's literally something for everyone in the Vans range of snow gear. However, we're here to talk about the Infuse, Vans' most popular all-terrain, all-condition boot, featuring hybrid BOA and lacing systems that are built for maximum customization of fit and flex. Embraced and backed by new-gen riders like Ken and Cummins, the Infuse is designed for performance that stands up in any terrain. So hit up your local Vans dealer and check out the Infuse and the rest of the 25-26 Vans Snow lineup.
We're here with Egan Wint. Egan, you just put a hell of a show on at X Games last weekend. One thing I wanted to ask you seemed like you learned front flips like 5 minutes before the contest. Is that true?
Not particularly. I think that Instagram post that I made was a little bit confusing. They weren't my first front flips ever, but they were my first front flips off a knuckle. So, you know.
That counts.
I pretty much learned front flips last spring. I got all excited about it. I'm sick of backflips.
Yeah, notice you didn't lay one out in the knuckle hug?
Yeah. Well, all year I was like, I'm going to go for 2. And then I got to the knuckle and the only jumps that I've hit all year are DIYX and Rockstar Open still. And so I haven't been in the air all this year. I've done one backflip, which is the one at DIYX. And I landed, so I didn't have to try anymore. I don't know, whatever.
You're batting 1,000, 100% landing average.
Dang.
Yeah, gotta keep it that way. So I don't know, and I just got excited about the front flips. So
it's totally different to do one off a small knuckle. You're flying like 60 feet down the knuckle, though. That was like 0 to 100 learning curve. From what I saw on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, no, it was so scary. The one that got posted on Instagram too, I don't know if you noticed, but I literally land in a nose press. I thought I was going to die. I thought that was the second hit of warm-ups right before the event, and I was like watching my season flash before my eyes. But we made it.
Well, it was a hell of a show. And I think you should have been on the podium.
Well, thanks, Chris. That's
What
nice.
do you think?
It's hard to comment on it as the boarder.
So yes.
No, Oh no,
She's taking the high road. I respect
no,
that.
And I didn't. When you're in the jam, I haven't watched the recap yet. I don't know what everybody else did. So maybe tonight I'll text you and be like,
You're gonna be
damn it.
You're gonna be pissed off. Yeah, text me if you watch it, 100%. But let's talk about it because in X Games, you know, it's like a big event. There's coaches, there's iPads, there's international teams, and I thought seeing you there with the fucking helmet on with the green spikes, the fucking abolish ice on the back of your hoodie, like the fucking whole thing was just so fucking punk rock, and it was just an incredible freedom of self-expression and just a breath of fresh air in a world of like contest chucking seriousness. I would love to hear you talk about, you know, rocking the hoodie.
I mean, last year I had that shirt that my homegirl Darla made, and it said "Product of People Crossing the Border." And I also switched my flag over to Colombia. So this year, I kind of just wanted to back it up. And also, especially in the past couple of days, right before X Games, tensions have been really, really high, especially in Minnesota. Obviously, like, people are being murdered in the streets by ICE. And, you know, the least I can do on my world tour this season is freaking write "Abolish ICE" on the back of my hoodie at X Games. It's so easy for me to do. And you know, the feedback that I've gotten is really strong. People love to see that. They love to, I don't know. It should be everywhere. And so I'm going to bring it everywhere I go.
Well, we were proud to see it, and I think like for us, I think a lot of people they feel helpless. They don't know how to be a positive light in a world of chaos and division and just hysteria. And I think when you see something like that, it's like this positive message of somebody fucking shredding on a snowboard and also sending a message. And I kind of just had that moment of like, fuck, you know, I think all of us were just
Yep. Same,
right? Would you say the same? Right?
Echo that for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's just it's a really positive, healthy outlet to express yourself in a really challenging time. And I just want to say, like, we think it's fucking awesome, and thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, somebody's got to do it. I'm proud to be the person that is doing it, and I hope to see other people do it a little more often. It's really as simple as something on your hoodie. I didn't say anything all day about it, or, you know, you just let the things do the talking. And it doesn't even have to be so polarizing, you know? There was a while where everybody had stickers on their boards, and it said, "Go hug somebody," or like, "Go make a friend," or whatever. And like, I just like, you know, it takes one little reminder in your day, whether it's on the screen at X Games or a sticker on your board, or, you know, you always see it on the back of people's phones. They have like the little fortune that they kept that made them feel something, you know, just like keep reminders around of what your values are and what you want to see reflected in the world, and keep putting that energy out. And, you know, that's a good way to make change, I think.
Well said. Well said, especially in the polarizing, you know, if you look at the landscape of like snowboarding, we're heading into an Olympic year. I'm seeing Visa logos on people's boards. I'm seeing like corporate sponsorship all over the place. And then you just see Egan, who's like just the most punk rock fucking attitude and everything about it. I think us from the old generation, especially too, we're like proud of the way you're carrying the flag for snowboarding, and it's really fun to see just your attitude on a snowboard and everything.
And us in the younger generation too.
Yeah.
I'm not in that.
I'm a boomer.
Oh.
Younger.
He's young gen.
Y'all are so sweet.
It's cool. So you did you get a good, like, I saw you turn towards the crowd and they go nuts and everything? Seemed like.
Oh yeah, I mean, there were a couple different crews in the crowd that every time I would board past, they'd be like, "Fuck ICE," and I'm like, "Yeah, fuck ICE." Like, I don't know, just yelling that into the X Games crowd is kind of fun. Yeah. I'm kind of like looking over my shoulder, like, is the camera still on? Because, you know, it is a line to walk of, you know, on screen, I want to be able to just like wear the hoodie and let that do the talking. Like, this is my statement. And then more interpersonally, have that moment between the people where we're like yelling across the noise of the snowmobiles saying, fuck ice. Like, that's so sick. And like, I don't know. I want there to be some degree of separation there, because on the big main screen, I think it's so easy to lose your message, because if I'm on screen yelling fuck ice, all of a sudden it's not like, oh, this person is using their platform to like advocate for the things that they believe in. It's, look at this shithead yelling swear words on live TV.
Yes.
You know, this is what...
Yeah. It's really easy for them to twist your message.
Right,
Yeah.
totally.
Well said.
Totally.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm just trying to be smiley and fun and also, like, abolitionist.
Mm-hmm. That's really
on the
smart
main
that you're like
stage.
conscious of that. It's really cool.
Totally. I mean, and you can see it in... There was one moment on one of my first laps where I get to the bottom and I go to show the screen my hoodie. And because I could see I was on TV, and I turn around and I can see another one of the TVs, and he just like pans up, and it's just like my shoulders and my head. And I'm just like, oh, okay, cool.
Shit.
Like,
fucker. Yeah.
I get it. Like, word, I'm going to sneak this in. I see the screening that's happening, and I don't want this to come across as, you know, like X Games is censoring me. But there is that level of walking the line for X Games as well, of like, what are they gonna let the hoodie be on screen and just let it be a hoodie? Or are they gonna like avoid it and try to keep it PC for the people watching so they don't get uncomfortable? Like, how do they walk that line? That's also a hard thing. And I acknowledge that and I understand that, because for some people I am putting them in kind of a hard position of like forcing their hand on what they want X Games' message to be. Which, I'm sorry, like, we're at a point in time where we don't get to not be on a side. There's a quote. Let me remember it for a second. It's something along the lines of, like, in times of oppression, if you choose neutrality, you're choosing the side of the oppressor. There's not a true neutral. It's just you're doing something or you're not. So, you know, for everyone out there, what are you doing right now? Are you doing something or not?
Well said. I think that's a really good question to raise, good topic to talk about. And I think the challenging part is how do you inflict positive change? And I think a tricky thing is the hysteria. You know, I'll get personal for a second. My wife's from an immigrant family and really just absolutely rattled by this whole thing, like really been hysterical and been really upset. And I said, Britt, how should we manage this? You know, like, what do you think we should do? And she just said, don't feed into the hysteria, like in the sense of like, don't amplify the like that you know, you feel helpless. How do you navigate it in a positive way? Is a challenge, is a question we ask ourselves, like, and being intentional about it. And that's why I think what you did is the perfect medium, because I think when you say fuck guys and then everyone goes fuck you go fuck you, and it's this like, it doesn't actually accomplish anything. Like, the message fuck guys doesn't actually help anything. It's just both people going, it's like when someone flips you off in traffic, you go fuck you and you go fuck you back. But like, the word abolish, that's a helpful word, you know. And then, you know, how do you not, if my wife or whatever is hysterical on the ground and she's really upset about what's happening, she's got to be a mom. She's got to be, you know, she's got to take care of our family. She's got to take care of herself. So like that feeding into the hysteria really amplifies that. When you look, okay, how can we do something positive? Can we you know, go online and fill out some forms and send it to Congress? Yeah, we can do that. That's what we did, you know. And yeah, you know, but like messages like what you did, I think are such a perfect positive way to send a message that isn't like, you know, feeding into the hysteria, so to speak.
Yeah, totally. And something that helps me a lot in like avoiding that kind of hysteria or trying to be able to see things with more clarity, because it is so hard to do that these days of what's actually going on. But the helplessness and the polarization is by design. There is, and it feels like this shadowy, like Illuminati-esque, they are doing it by design, but, it's intentional. And whether the conversations are happening behind closed doors or not, the effects are so real. We see it every single day. Every single scroll on your phone is, in one way or another, built to polarize you against your neighbors and the people that if you are to link up with and to build something with, that's when the system topples, is when the collective is a whole. And right now we're so polarized and it's so focused on the fuck you, no fuck you, no fuck you, that it's hard. It's so hard to see through that. And so again, I kind of come back to the daily reminders of, whether I'm seeing abolish ICE on the back of my hoodie and just letting that silently be there, or, I have kind of crazy protest posters all around my room, and, it just like small daily reminders of what I stand for and what I believe in, and like just spreading little seeds into the world. That's my personal solution. I'm not here to give advice, but
no, you're inspiring. You're inspiring all.
Yeah. You don't need to. You're not here to give a solution.
Yeah.
Well said. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, incredible. That's good stuff. Heavy times, and I think also like talking about going through the feed, it's hectic. There's all this political stuff and all these crazy things happening in the world, and then you see, like, to me, the clip from Knuckle Huck and things like that. It's a bright light in a world of darkness. And I think that's also important too, to maintain like things are politically charged. We're all having a hard time. We still have permission to have joy. We still should be able to be a bright light in this world, even when there's bad things happening. And I've always felt like, I'll say, like, I remember COVID is what this show was built on. And COVID was like, right when that happened is when we started the show. It was very divided. And I felt like, the world's going crazy. Let's just take a second, take a step back. Let's just take a break from all that. Let's talk about snowboarding for a second, and let's get bright again. And I think that's also okay too. It's okay to you don't have to do one or the other. You can care and you can also live with joy. And I think that's also important as well, because sometimes it feels like you're not allowed to live with joy with all the bad stuff happening in the world. And right?
Totally.
And I think that's important. Like, it's not helpful. It's helpful if you are a bright light in the world, It's kind of a random rant, but cool. All right, well, let's keep it moving. We still got a couple things to talk about. I want to bring up big board switch. No longer Dynos. Best brand ever.
R.I.P.
And we love Dynos here, and we also love Armada. So what prompted the switch?
Gosh, that's a big question. I love Dynos, and I love Geno and everything they've done for me. And I have reached a point in my run in snowboarding that I needed, oh gosh, I just hate this. I needed more monetary support. And the fact of the matter is that Dynos was doing everything that they could for me in that moment. And, we had a great run. I think I rode for Dynos for 5 years, completely building my career off of it, and to do the things that I want to do and, have the reach that I want to be able to have to make said differences, plant said seeds. I needed more support. And so looking outwards into the landscape of snowboarding, I didn't want to ride for any of those companies, especially leaving Dynos. Until I talked to Steffi one time at Mammoth. we were staying together, and she was like, yeah, you should just hit Tanner up. I've heard them say your name before. Like, it'll be fine. And then I was talking to you, and you were like, I don't know, you had said, yeah, Armada has said your name. Like, just give it a second, they'll hit you up. And I kind of heard that all summer long, and I was sick of it and got Tanner's number from you, I think. And
I was hounding him. I was saying you guys are fucking up if you don't put Egan on.
You were a great help through that whole process, which thank you. Yeah. Hit Tanner up, and I think we had a phone call that night or maybe the next morning. It was super immediate, and it felt right. It felt better than any of the other companies that I had been talking to. It felt like something that I could really get excited about, and that's the only brand I had ever felt that with beside Dinos. So,
for the record, too, talking to Egan, she was navigating the waters, you know, trying to find a little more support and things like that, and talking about it. But the you know, there was a lot of board brands that we talked about, and she was really like, I thought it was really cool how you were like, I really want to check out this Armada thing, and it worked out, and it seems like a great fit. How do you like the boards?
So far, I really like them. Well, I guess I like it. I haven't really ridden any of the boards except for the women's Park Street board, the cold press. But I really like it. It's a little bigger and stiffer than what I had been used to. I'd been riding the 143 Brat forever, and now I'm on the 44, which isn't that much of a difference. But in my heart, it feels like it. Because before the 43, I was on like a 140, I think. So going to the 43 felt like a big jump, and then going any bigger felt like, whoa. But, I mean, shit, it works. You saw me.
Preach.
What's your favorite part about being on Armada?
Oh gosh, it's a
horrible question.
It's a horrible question.
Yeah, excellent work.
Honestly, at this point in time, I love how polarizing it is. I love to see people hating on it, and I love to see what they have to say also, because it's so funny scrolling through the Instagram comments. Like, obviously being on the back end, I know a lot more of what's going on than the person who's like, get skiing out of snowboarding.
Yeah.
One person commented that skiing was gentrifying snowboarding, and that's just...
What do you think about that comment?
It's just so comical to me. You could never gentrify snowboarding.
We're already there.
It's the gentrifier.
We're already there, guys. I hate to break it to you. Yeah.
But like, yeah, keep going. Keep hating, because I swear to God, in, 4 or 5 years when you're looking for a new snowboard, Armada's going to be the shit, and you're going to want to give us your money. So
fuck yeah.
Like, I can't wait for that return on what we've been building. And honestly, I say we, but I was the last person signed onto the program. Like, everybody else that is on the team, like, they built this.
Yeah.
And I got to slap my name on the side of it.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I love everything they built. I cannot wait to ride with that team. It's such a sick team. And yeah, just a couple of years of spiteboarding.
There it is.
Yeah, nothing fuels you more than spite.
We got to get you. We're going to Mineshaft this year, and we got to get you double flipping that thing. If it ever snows in Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it ever snows. Jeez Louise. Yeah, actually, Katie and I have already talked about that. Let's line it up. Super down.
Okay, perfect. Well, I appreciate everything you do for snowboarding, and just fucking, we're over here, we're cheering you on the sidelines. Just so you know, you got big fans.
Big fans.
Keep doing your thing. Keep being that fucking breath of fresh air in snowboarding, Egan. It's badass. As we get more and more corporate and fucking just
as
cookie
skiing
cutter
continues to gentrify.
As we get more and more gentrified, we need more Egan. It's like more cowbell, but we need more Egan.
Yeah, just a little more Egan.
So we're proud of you. Thanks for doing what you do. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Bombhole fam, I got some incredible news for you. We've teamed up with ShadyRays to bring you an exclusive offer.
Oh yeah, Silk. And the right gear makes all the difference. That's where ShadyRays snow goggles come in. They've got the perfect goggles to get you on the mountain. Everything you need in one go without the hassle. I got a question, Silk.
Yep.
What if you want to customize your ShadyRays goggles?
It's a great question. I'm glad you asked. They got you covered there too. From lens swap options to strap options, you can build your own setup to ride exactly how you want to ride.
What if you don't like the fit of your goggles or you kind of ding them up a little bit?
It's a very reasonable worry. A lot of stuff happens out there. They got you covered with broken protection, free 30-day returns. Make it easy to swap them out or just send them back.
So gear up with premium goggles built for the mountain with the style and protection you need at a price that keeps it all within reach.
Yep.
So we've teamed up with ShadyRays to bring you an exclusive offer, Silk. What is that offer?
Yeah, you can head on over to ShadyRays.com and use promo code BOMBHOLE, and you're going to get a whopping 30% off any snow goggles or polarized sunglasses.
Be confident anywhere under the sun with ShadyRays, the eyewear that has your back.
All right, here we go. We're going to get into Mammoth's top fives. This is a blind ranking. Dixon, you know about blind ranking. What is blind ranking?
Oh, I know the blind part pretty well.
Yeah, you can't see.
Yeah, those things are thick.
Thick prescription glasses on.
Yeah, so we'll give you some parks in Mammoth. You have to rank them as they come. You can't change your order after the fact.
Got it. I got the list here. First park, Main Park. Where does it land?
4.
Damn. South Park.
3.
Snake Run.
2.
Forest Trail.
1.
Hell yeah. Jibs and More.
5.
That's 5. Solid. Why is Forest Trail your favorite
It's just
park?
fun. It's always been there. It's just like the small-ish kind of stuff. Cool, fun little trannies. There's a mini pipe at the bottom, which is usually really fun. And I think the reason is because I used to ride there with Jeffy and Billy. Like that was like our little run down there. And we used to shovel jumps in there, and the ski patrol would come and like put X's on them and stuff. But we would like literally shovel our own like little hits in that same run. So
legendary
with Billy and Jeff when they were like, Jeffy was like 8, I think, and
So
Billy was
sick.
probably like 12 or 10 or something. So
Hell yeah. I would have pictured you more like a Main Park guy, just kind of busting under the lip.
I've never busted.
Nose
dude.
pressing,
No.
the
A couple
big
nose
hog.
presses.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't like people watching me.
I think you're kind of playing it down a little bit.
No.
All right, we're gonna get into heater clips. Here we go.
Heater clips, it's the new clips of the week.
Nice. The TV is directly above Dixon's head, so it's great. We
Yeah,
get
it's
to kinda
perfect.
awkwardly stare at him.
Yeah, nice.
Our heater clips are fantastic.
Yeah, we have
this week.
the most fire clips you can possibly
and
imagine.
Sean White has a heavy presence.
Yeah, he's got
snowboarding
most
in
of
Central
them.
Park. He has 3 of the 4 heater clips. So let's just get right into it. The first clip I have is Sean White's front flip in Central Park.
Nice.
Here's the front flip. Bingo.
A lot of preparation for that front flip. Really wound up.
I mean, as much as it's like the core lord in me, you could make fun of that. It's fucking awesome. He's snowboarding with like Sean White, multiple Olympic medalist, gold medalist in Central Park, busting front flips. He's back in the streets. I think it's freaking amazing. What do you guys think?
I think he's giving the people what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree there. You got a crowd. There's a crowd there.
Do you think we can get him apart in the next Dustbox movie?
Well, he'd have to change his outerwear. That's the thing is, if you notice the street kids, they're definitely not wearing goggles, a helmet, and a matching kit in the streets.
Yeah, fully kitted up.
Do you think he took time picking out his lens in the morning?
Yes.
Yeah, he definitely did. He's probably got extras.
That's no accident.
I mean, it's functional. Very functional, but
Yeah, it looks great.
the front 3, the nice little 2-piece. I mean, you filmed that thing fisheye dangler, you could use that, I think.
Yeah, I think if you kind of jam that extreme in there.
Yeah, follow cam.
Yeah, you could just make that into something for sure.
Yeah, I think we need to get a bad boy lens on that. We also have a 1-footer clip, which is like, shout out Scott Stevens. I never seen Sean out there letting the 1-foot bark like that.
I haven't either. So
You know, it's important to reinvent yourself with a long career. I think we're seeing the next evolution.
that's one way to do it.
Yeah. Downey, you ever let the foot?
I was never 1-footer, but if Scott Stevens was there, he'd probably still be there. He would just hang out there like there's 2 features that are perfect, ready to
He
go.
could film
for Scott.
he could literally film his ender
For sure.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
And then the last one we have, which is, if you didn't think this was random, he's got a front 180 over Shane Gillis's head, front 180 Indy, which I don't know what world we're living in, but I'm here for it. I like to see it. You guys have thoughts on it?
I think it's cool he's there. It's just like Michael Jordan showing up at the local like basketball hoop place and just playing with kids. Like, look at all those people there. They're just freaking out. So I think it's cool.
100%. All those people are like, I saw Shaun White today.
Yeah.
And they're like, bullshit, you did. You snowboarded in Central Park. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's good for snowboarding. Could have like maybe picked a little bit better kit, but other than that, trick selection.
Yeah,
bingo.
trick selection was perfect.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
You think the jump's still up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually got a flight booked to New York City.
Salt Lake to JFK.
Yeah, gonna go try to get a quick clip. Bomb hole movie. And then the last one we got feeder clips is from LJ Henriquez. It is a wild rainbow rail nose press that somewhere in the mid-Atlantic it looks like. What do you think about this one, Dixon?
It's pretty sick. I think it's Mountain Creek. It was like a Mountain Creek anniversary or something event is what he was out for. But yeah, this is what I imagine Downing's nose presses.
That's pretty hard to do. Like I was just like he didn't tap at all, and it doesn't look like I can't tell from here, but it's pretty cool. Like to not tap on a rainbow thing like that. That's
Chris, can you describe how some of these old nose presses looked like in comparison?
There definitely was.
There was an evolution.
Have you seen the nose press evolve, Downing?
No, it's the same thing. I mean, sorta.
I'll be my early days of a nose press. It was like you could kind of put it up 45, and it didn't necessarily have to be lifted research group. Like I feel like you could kind of just like
unless you're hanging with JP. Then
yeah, I wasn't. Like
yeah.
I feel like I would just do a 45 degree 50-50 and like lean my shoulder over my nose and be like, I just nose pressed the shit out of that thing. It's like literally dead flat. But yeah, you probably had a higher standard.
Yeah. JP would just like laugh at you too.
Yeah. Okay, so that was just me in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
So do you have any tips for a nose press?
I'm not a nose press guy, dude. No, that's
Downing?
Do you want
Oh,
to?
you just have to ollie like to lock into it. You know, you can't just like ride on your nose.
Are you doing all lean forward, or do you pull the back leg?
You're kind of pulling your back leg and pushing down your front foot, I would say.
You nose pressed the fucking rainbow box the other day. I watched it.
We don't have it on camera, so there's no proof of that.
I
thankfully,
literally can pull it up.
we don't need to do
I
that.
actually
It's all
can
right.
pull it up.
It's okay. No, we don't need to do that. It's not.
He did a
and
nose
you don't
pre-
need to.
What do you think
It's
about the
all right.
nose press Downing to tail tap at the end? What are your thoughts on that?
I never really did that extra point.
And
thing.
there's
it's like
reason.
kind of like an extra point. And I never really went for the extra point.
So you just know it's weren't a fan.
Like Dead Lung and those guys did, which was cool. They made it look cool.
It was an up rainbow box, so it's very easy in my head to nose press up because it balances out, and then you tail press the down, it balances out the other way. Not to say that it's impressive, because it's not. It's very. I can't press for shit, but I can try.
All right, that's good. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Keep trying, Dixon.
I don't have the original clip. I trimmed
Thank God.
it.
Oh,
I got it. Here it is, Downing. You can see it right here.
What do we got?
All right.
We got Dixon's nose press. Downing, we want you to.
Well, for one, he's goofy foot, so that helps.
Yep. What are your thoughts
let's
on
see
this?
here.
Walk us through it.
You need to ollie a little more coming into it, kind of like, yeah. And that's a weird feature to do a nose press on, honestly.
I think you got to dive into it more.
Yeah.
See, if I was not scared out of my mind and being filmed by Chris Grenier at the same time, I think.
What's your stance, by the way? You're kind of a tall guy. Like, it looks like your stance is a little narrow. You might need to like widen it up a little bit and
could be.
Get that.
I just do the elbow to fist plus a finger or two.
You don't know
whatever
that
comes out to.
That's weird.
I don't know the numbers.
Maybe widen your stance a little bit.
All right.
I don't know.
It can't dive.
Or do it on a different feature. I would do it on a different feature.
What's a good feature to?
Just like something you have to ollie up onto. You know, like a raised box. I would say.
It sounds terrifying.
No, down bar, round.
Or down
That
bar.
sounds scary.
Catch the inside.
I don't want to nose press anything that is 1 degree down below flat if I can help it, because then you really have to dive into it. Like that, the nose press on the cover of Pleasure Mag. Is that Savannah?
Yeah.
That one looks terrifying.
I think that was
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
My bad.
Yeah.
Kennedy Deck.
Nice.
Yeah,
one.
that was
Danglers
good catch.
on it.
That was steep.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I would just fully faceplant. I wouldn't even touch the rail.
RIP your shoulder right
That's
there.
what I'm saying.
Right
That's
to
why
a
I'm scared.
Separated clavicle. Final push, gang. We're getting into Instagram questions. So let's just get right into it. Nell Powell wants to know, Matt Patti, how's Death Grip going?
Death Grip is going pretty good. We're in our second year in market. It's been a very positive experience so far. We've got one thing I'm really proud about it is we've got really good support from core retail, from Dark Side to Milo to Wave Rave, so kind of all the way across the country. But we've also got really good support from some of the bigger guys like Evo. So feel great about that. We've also, as a brand for a brand, we have really good diversity regionally. Only about 50% of what we sell is in the U.S. And that's important because, you know, it's very unusual. Everybody has a shit season at the same time. So when there's shit seasons here or there, you can rely on orders coming in from different parts of the world. So we have good early diversity for that too. So coming in next year, we have some pretty heater partnerships. My favorite one is Liquid Death. That's going to be a really exciting one. We got this black and metallic gold drippy skull glove. It's pretty fun. So, but other great partnerships. 1910. We've been working with Baldface. We've worked with Natural Selection in the past. An artist named Melody Peralt. Super fun to work with. So it's been great. Thanks for the question.
Yeah, gloves look badass. They're awesome. All right, next question's for Downing. This is from Scarter 5000. I want to hear about Dave proposing to Shannon at Brighton. I didn't even know this was a thing.
Oh, wow, Shane.
I want to hear about that too.
Yeah. Did you just bust a nose press?
Kind of. Well, she always finds stuff out, so I had to like figure it out. Like I had the ring for like, I don't know, a couple weeks, maybe a month. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? Because she always finds out what's going on. So we're riding. It's a POW day at Brighton. And this is in like the 90s. I forget what year it was. 98, maybe 7. And it was a POW day and there was nobody there. And we were riding and I remember she was at the bottom. I'm like, let's take another run. She's like, no, I'm done. I'm over it. Like, I'm like, dang, okay. And then she could tell I was bummed. And then I'm like, just let's go. And she's like, okay, let's go. And we went back up and we were riding down. There's just these trees kind of right off of Crest, sort of. And we were kind of ducked in the trees. I'm riding in front of her. And like, I just stopped. And she comes up to me and she's just like, thought I was hurt or something. And I just dropped down on one knee right there and asked her to marry me. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. At Brighton.
She said yes.
She said yes.
Yeah, Dave, were you panicking riding with an engagement ring in your? Because like when I ride a POW day, I'm checking my car keys like 5 times each run. Like I'm always just nervous. But
my zipper pocket was zipped up. It was zipped up for sure. Yeah.
Being there with an engagement ring.
Yeah. So I was trying to like have it be spontaneous, whatever. But just a.
Follow-up question. Jesse Korea says, why, Dave, did you turn your back on the steel?
Jesse said that?
Yeah.
Oh, man, dude. Jesse's our, we're wrapping up in Canada. He's an awesome kid. I didn't turn my back on it. It's just, I'll still hit steel, but I'm just not super into it.
But you still hit it?
Yeah.
If you hit it, you didn't turn your back on it.
Yeah, I didn't turn my back.
You're not riding around it.
Sometimes I do. Okay, here's
Damn it.
You want to know the truth? When I ride through a park and there's like a jump and a thing, like it's all fall line, I just don't really care. But if it's up on a thing, like at Bear Mountain, it's on some weird cool tranny or something, I'm into it. And same with park jumps. Like I don't like flags and people telling me where to jump. I like jumping where it's just natural, sort of. So that's just how I am. That's how I started riding and stuff. Like I don't like this manicured, perfect park. I'll just kind of ride around it. But I'll, like on a park jump, I'll go up the side tranny and hit it. And I just don't like going off where the flags are.
All right, to piggyback that, Dave, this is from at the Shallow Tree. What's something from your early snowboard days to pass on to the next generation?
Just try to like ride different aspects of snowboarding, I would say. Like, and maybe it might not be your most enjoyable thing, but like try all the different things, like ride a race board, ride a jib board, ride handrails, ride jumps, ride the half pipe, ride powder, ride all these different things. And especially as trying to be a pro, because I think it helps you ride better, instead of just like you were talking about before, like, a super serious competitive snowboard just goes straight to the half pipe all day and that's all they do. They don't snowboard. But like I can tell somebody that can snowboard, just by the way they ride down the slope. So spending time on your snowboard, not in the discipline that you do, I think would be really important. It'll help you create style and things like that, I think.
Pro tip.
So now having seen a run of mine at Woodward, does it look like I know how to snowboard?
Yeah.
What would you say?
You know how to snowboard, yeah, you do for sure. And you're getting after it. You're trying tricks in the park and stuff. Like that's the first step. You know.
What do you
Just
think
trying
about
things.
line of down rails? You go down the first rail and then you just side slip and then you go down the next rail.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You know?
I don't like the side
do.
slip thing.
I love it.
I know.
I love it.
I don't like rails in a row. You know what I mean? Like I just don't like that. I like to land off a rail and then like turn over to some bank or something and hit it, and then maybe back in a rail. Like I don't know if you guys have been to Bear Mountain, and they put things in all these weird areas,
Non-linear.
and I like that. You know, skiers tend to like things in an order, like fall line straight down the hill. You know, and that's how a lot of parks are these days because they're trying to make it easier. You know. But I like the non-linear weird stuff.
Do you guys want to piggyback off of something from the early days to pass on the next generation? Anything come to mind? Matt Patti?
Relative to what he's talking about?
Yeah.
I think ride a lot of different places. Try to have the experience-based opportunity to ride different locations because geographically you're going to find different kinds of snow, different kinds of terrain, and where you live may not be the thing you love riding the most, and maybe being able to find the thing you like riding the most so that you can go spend the most amount of time there is something that I should have learned that a lot earlier. Spent a lot of time riding Bear Mountain, and turns out that's not my favorite thing to ride. So when I did find those places, I spend a lot more time in those places.
Bald-Faced Lodge.
That would be one of them, yeah, for sure.
Dangles?
Yeah, I think about it sometimes with like my kids and stuff, and it's like you have advice like to give them when they grow up, but kind of what you're saying, it's like I think a thing with snowboarding, or if you want to do something in snowboarding, it's like go find the people that have a similar mindset as you and are obsessed with it, and go join them, go to where they are, as long as it's healthy. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Good stuff. Sidebar, you guys sent me the big nice burgundy snowboard for Chip. I have a mini one of these for my son's first snowboard. I got some bindings. Shout out Burton. Pat Dodge sent me some kids bindings. And I got the bar too. First thing I do when I get this FaceTime Downing, I'm like, Downing, what do I do here?
I remember that. I didn't do the bar thing, but my kids learned just kind of going down the driveway and stuff. So how's that going with Chip? Is it?
So far, he's basically just tips over and eats shit. So I just hold him on my top sheet.
Yeah.
Just going down like on the magic carpet. Yeah. So he hasn't been unassisted yet. He's more of a passenger. He's in the passenger phase.
All right, it's coming.
Yeah. So, did you do the bar, or did you just go straight to?
I just
have you seen the bar?
In
you know the bar thing?
The bindings and give her a push, and down she goes. And
then do you yell at her if she doesn't like do a back 270 on the rail, or is it pretty?
We're not working on back 270s yet, but you should see her nose press. It's pretty. No. We ride from point A to point B on that magic carpet, and that's about as far as we've made it at this point. So,
well, Jesse Correa, this is a good question for all of you marketing juggernaut people. He wants to know what makes someone a good pro snowboarder just beyond the tricks. Beyond the tricks. I'm going to go you, Dangler, because you just talked.
Thanks. I think there's a few things. One is an intangible, just kind of personality or vibe or, energy that people gravitate to. That's really hard to like quantify, you just can't really explain it. It's more of just like a feeling. And, so the energy's got to be right. The second one I would say is just how you can work with someone, from the brand end to the rider. Are you guys aligned? Or are you not? And if you're not, that might not mean that person can't be a good pro snowboarder. It might just not be the best relationship fit. And then, I think just how easy a person is to work with. Do you like working together? Does that person kind of understand, you know, that there's some things that you can get into and you can access in pro snowboarding if you want to do more than just participate in the snowboard act only. So I would say those three things, and then of course like the, you know, real talent on a board, and I think most people that make it to like a really high level in snowboarding are really kind of like recognized for really kind of nailing down like a specific like avenue that they're really passionate about, you know. So
Find your lane.
yeah, I don't want to sound like limiting, but you know, there's people that like reach this level and it's like they become known for like excelling at something, and it doesn't have to be just one trick. It could be, you know, I remember like Lewis, like you guys mentioned him a lot on the show, incredible. And it's like he had this run where he was at the top of like his game, and he was just known for every year for like 5 years in a row. You knew that he was going to put out one trick that was new and was going to blow your mind, you know, and that really propels him forward into the next stage of his career. So there's no one box to check with what that thing is, but certain people find that thing.
Makes me think of Arthur with his side hits. Like he really carved out a cool niche.
Exactly,
Flying
yeah.
off of relatable things that we can't do, but we could try to do.
So people could become really known for something like that.
Yeah.
And that, you know, kind of brings people to an upper tier of snowboarding. I look at it a lot like music too. I always think it's interesting to just compare like bands' trajectories and, you know, athletes and stuff. And then you see the same thing. It's like when people start to become known for a type of sound, that's when a band really becomes rising in popularity and influence and recognition.
You know, it's an interesting one too in that regard too with music. I think sometimes people put out too much good offerings. Like it's almost like it's kind of great when a band disappears for a while and then gives you an offering. Like I feel like Bodie was on that tear where every year he would put out a fucked up part where you almost became numb to it. Where it's almost like if he hung out in the shadows, didn't film for a few years, it would almost done better for him. It's like with music, you know, like it's refreshing when you don't get an album every 6 months or whatever. But I want to divert to you guys and go back to the question about what makes a good pro snowboarder. Matt?
I kind of agree with a lot of the stuff that Mark already said, but I can kind of maybe summarize to like just understanding the relationship between the riders and the brands. And I think what you were hitting on with the guys who rise to the top really do sort of understand those relationships to a degree. You know, the athletes, the riders, they need and want certain things from the brands, and the brands need and want to understand some of those things get some of those things from the athletes. And I think having that communication up front and sort of setting the expectation on both sides, and then really both teams following through on that, and you know, being in service of the relationship from both sides, I think that really helps.
Well said. Dave?
I think one big thing is like being able to reinvent yourself, especially nowadays, because there's so much like social media and you can just be out there all the time, that I think it helps somebody's marketability or whatever to be able to reinvent yourself and kind of almost shock people or change your, you know, but be true to yourself, but like change what you're doing, you know. And I think that's really intriguing for people that are watching from the outside and watching like an athlete or whatever, is to see somebody that like can change and can reinvent themselves, you know, every few months, year, 2 years, whatever.
Well said.
I've always been inspired by the reinvention part of it, because I think that you know, it's like that's a key kind of component to reaching like a third tier of like pro snowboarding. You have your rapid, you know, in the beginning you're like, I'm rapid accumulation of talent, and then your second, you know, tier is kind of, we just started talking about that. You start to get paid because you're being recognized for a certain style of something, and then it's the, you know, it's like people who reinvent what they can do, and then they become long-term contributors to the culture of snowboarding. That's when real longevity comes into play, because you're no longer dictated by like the physical condition of your body and the tricks that you can put on camera or something like that. So I always think that's super cool. You obviously with the bomb hole, and like I think of like Jessica Marin and stuff, and it's like so sick to see when people like, are able to do that. I'm really inspired by that as well.
Thank you. Thanks for saying that, Mark. Appreciate it. Well, I think it's been a good show, guys.
Did you guys have fun? Silk, did you have fun?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Dixon, did you have a good time?
Had a blast.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I had a great time.
Dixon, what was your favorite part of the show?
Probably getting tips that will never be put into practice on my back three and my nose press. I appreciate the tips. I do accept them. I love them. I am just not coachable as a human, unfortunately.
You're very uncoachable.
Yeah, he has said that before.
What
yeah.
about being sponsored? How good is being coachable for a sponsored rider? Dangler, is that important?
Extremely
Yeah,
important.
it
So,
is.
you know, Dixon, I think you're
My chances are slim.
well
You're
on
saying
your
it's
way,
not
man.
looking.
Dude, Dixon is a Burton fanatic down there, by the way.
Yeah, actually, we think he's an industry plant.
Honestly, he's obsessed with Burton.
Wasn't going to bring this up. Me and Dave have worked together before at a Burton store up at Park City. We did a
I do
single
remember
step-on
that.
demo
I do remember
one
that.
day, and I got to see a bunch of people talk to Dave and show and tell him how step-ons work. It was very fun.
I remember that. Yeah.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But I worked at the store. I'm biased. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's drinking the company Kool-Aid. We love Burton. My son runs Burton stuff. You know.
There you go. When you're trying to film a movie and all your other brands run out of money, don't come crying to me and Burton, all right? Every crew needs a Burton guy.
All right, Silk, who's taking us out of the show?
Fuck yeah, I think we should have Dangler do it.
Yeah, Dangler, why don't you do the sign off?
Yeah.
sign off.
Just, the closing statement. Put a bow on the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning into the Bomb Hole today. I hope you learned something and enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you next Wednesday.